And so with the numbers coming in, the new students were quite a number. So we were hoping to get that number as our main target, and then any other persons that happen to want to join in the flight will join in. So that is why our main objective was for the new members coming in. Yeah. So, and we also realized that, I mean, the reason why we give such feedback and details is because we conducted a survey. Received, details on new members, new students, people that are ready to come. We considered their preparations towards coming in conjunction with the airlines, the available dates that were involved, and then the chartered flights prices. So this was not just to seek for a subsidized cost in flight fares, but then to actually have a chartered flight. Okay, the hope was that with the chartered flight, it would have made our pickup policy much more effective. And so it's like once they come as a batch, we can organize ourselves as chapter executives or members in the various entry exit points to help our members transition through the various destinations up onto their school. So these were the things that informed us in collaboration or talks with the airlines, the chapter executives, and then the student page that we created. Yes, sir.
Let me come back again. For you saying that you are much interested in the charter flight, what is really the importance if the pockets of our very own that we want to get them to join Nugs, it's rather going to be high instead of getting a lower flight or a cheaper flight. And then you made mention of your focus was also on the entry and the exit point. You knew, and you knew that at that point in time, in the heat of COVID, there was no way that the NEC or any chapter president or chapter executive was going to meet a member face to face. You knew. You can't tell me that you didn't know, because you knew there was going to be quarantine, whether for 7 days or 10 days or 12 days, no matter what, whether the entry point was Guangzhou, Shanghai, Beijing, wherever. You knew vividly that there was no way you were going to come in contact with members or with students. So why did you make this a policy? Or why did you make this one of your goals or anything, whilst you knew that you couldn't get in contact with them? Because once you get into the entry point, you don't get in contact with anybody. You go to your quarantine or your quarantine center after the number of days, 7, 8, 10. You also don't get in contact with anybody. You are escorted to either the train station or escorted to the airport. You don't get in contact with anybody until you get to your last point. And even to your last point, you knew. If you didn't know as a president, I'm sure some members of the NEC also knew that you don't get in contact with anybody until the school or until your university or anything gets in contact with you, quarantines you again. So why were you making this, especially this? I personally had some talks with people back home who were so confused, asking, is this really going to work and all that? Why? I mean, I was just confused. I was muffled. I just don't know why you knew these things were going to happen, because it was a routine. It was all over, everywhere. So why were you focusing on this rather than maybe something else? I just need clarity on that.
Thank you. Okay. I don't really understand, but let me try and see if I can address your concern. Yeah, so why we were focused on this was an offer that came to the union that this Hainan company is offering chartered flights for, they want to partner with us. They want to offer chartered flight as a subsidized cost for students traveling from Ghana to China. So that was the initial deal. Okay. So this was, we considered this in anticipation that things would have settled, and then would be able to put in the necessary works. And so once things are settled, it happens for them. And then there are two parts of this plan. First of all, I want to mention that the pickup procedure is not a policy that we necessarily initiated. It's been a plan of the union over the years. But because of COVID, we have not seen its full implementation. So in anticipation for new students to come into China, we sought to put in make these inquiries and how possible we can also prepare ourselves and meet our members and the new students that hopefully will be coming in halfway through. So Hainan Airlines reached out to us. Actually, they got in touch with one of our former presidents. And so we had talks with them. They were willing to give us a subsidized price for a chartered flight. And so all these things that we were doing was preparations or works in anticipation for a good turnout of events. If we had gotten the chartered flight at a good price for our students, of course, at that time there were situations where would have limited us from engaging our members at the entry or the new students at the entry and exit points. But then they wouldn't have missed out on the opportunity of benefiting from the subsidized chartered flight that was moving straight from Ghana here to China. The pickup policy procedures that came in later on, honestly, that is what most chapter executives and leaders have been implementing in the past months. So these members reach out to us, let us know the itinerary upon arrival here in China. We get in touch with the entry exit chapter leaders, and then they go to meet them and help them through the transition process. I agree that yes, indeed, at that time, yes, we were very much aware of the restrictions of not being able to get in touch or contact with any member or any person at the entry exit points. But then the program was in two folds. First, to help with a flight. Secondly, to continue the usual pickup policy of the union, which was challenged at that time for us to run thoroughly, as we already know. Yes. So, due to circumstances and challenges, some of these things were held back. Yes. But it was done in anticipation because even while we're here in China, rumors had it that soon enough China is going to open the borders, new students are coming in, and all of these things. So, as being proactive enough, we sought out to consider these plans just in case that it turns out good enough, wouldn't be caught unawares, and we could meet them halfway through the procedure. Yeah. So I don't know if maybe I've been able to help.
I would take it like that. I believe as we move forward as a union, maybe or sometimes in our quest to help some of our members, we would also dive deeper and do a deeper consultation. I can give a practical example with AWA, African World Airlines, and personally with some friends, we had them just take some few members from Kumasi to Accra, just like that, which was even much way cheaper than the ordinary fare anybody would take from Kumasi to Accra, because it was in a kind of a group from Kumasi to Accra before they bought their various flights. So I believe in our subsequent ones helping members, we would have a deeper consultation with some of our members. And then secondly, in your presentation also, you made mention of the various hall programs. Maybe I might have missed those programs, like the hot seat and all that. I want to know, was this program held in all the various Nugs halls? Like, was it held across all, or it was specifically for some halls or anything? I just want to know, because personally, in my chapter, very active, maybe I might have missed, or like maybe the communication was not clear. I just want to know how this was done. What was the selection process?
Okay.
Anything about that, so we could also learn and then implement it in our various chapters. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So there are four main national hall pages. I don't know if you happen to be on any of the whole pages.
Maybe, I think so.
Okay, so you are not sure about that. Yeah, but then yeah, we organize, we made sure we have a schedule, we organize a schedule, and each program is run through from hall 1 to hall 4. So every program that is done on one particular hall, same goes through for all the hall pages. So all hall pages had a fair share of all the programs. Maybe we can invite some members to attest to this.
Okay, sure, sure,
That's to
sure. So,
yeah, that's to
yes, yes,
soothe
yes,
your
yes. Okay, my last one, and then I give way for somebody.
okay,
Yes, my last might be my last one though. It's
okay,
on the membership drive,
okay,
as
okay.
the earlier honorable maid mentioned. Some chapters are ineffective and all that.
Yes,
We
sir.
personally, Genjo chapter, personally, we had some members transferring from other chapters, joining Genjo. And then we had some of the members coming from home joining us this year. Now, the problem, which was directed to NEC, that members, about 4 members, I can state categorically, stated that they don't even want to have anything to do again with nukes due to what NEC has done to them. They failed to pay their dues this year because they said one flimsy excuse somebody gave, was because NEC asked him or asked her, I don't want to be specific with the gender, that they should pay for their own shipping of their certificate, which to me is absurd.
Okay.
But so what is NEC doing about these things? It's not that sometimes some chapters are really trying to get the members on board, getting the programs done. But some still harbor something in them because of what probably NEC has done. NEC is doing something. What are you doing, or what did you do in your turn? I remember vividly in your manifesto last year that you said membership drive was one of your keys. So I want to know, these are some of the challenges. What are you doing? What did you do? What are you putting forward for the next administration? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your question. The honest truth is some of these things happen to be an oversight and inconsistency in transition procedures and flow of information. And so, first of all, I want to apologize for such leaders or executives who had to pay for their own certificates because the agreement, such agreements are communicated to leaders that your certificates will be sent, your certificate will be paid for, and all of that. So I want, first of all, want to apologize for such happening to our dearest members. And this year, we have made it our priority to do or to make sure that such happenings do not occur. Actually, there has been citation and certificates that some members that have served the union uh, didn't receive due to an oversight, which is not deliberate. And so, in our course of work, we also sought out to do the wrongs. I mean, to put it, do the wrongs that have been done to such individuals. So we honor them or acknowledge them with citations to that effect. So, as I've said, we are in for the membership drive, and so this year, yeah, neck, and on behalf of all my predecessors, we are promising that it can only get better from here. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Before I leave you to go, I think as a delegate from Genjo, I think I would task you as the president and the NEC to help make sure that the 4 members that were on transfer to Genjo, your issues with them are solved. Then we get our members back, because we know and we knew that they were very hardworking in their previous chapters. But as soon as they were transferred to Genjo, they all dropped because they think they had issues with NEC. So please, I would just plead with you as the president and NEC to also get them on board for us in Genjo. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.
Please, Mr. Boama, kindly help us submit such names to us, and then we can follow up accordingly.
Okay, I think you can get that through Genjo chapter's president or the secretary.
Okay.
I would also be at the backstage if you need help. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you too. Thank you very much. All right. So I think I see Mr. Sorry, Mr. Kofi's hands up. Let's have your question, and then if there are no more, we quickly move on to the next segment. All right, Mr. Kofi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I must commend you and your team for the great job.
Thank
I
you, sir.
remember it wasn't easy, especially when students were coming. It wasn't easy at all, but you were able to do all these arrangements. It's unfortunate that some people, after getting all these benefits, get here and even refuse to register in Nugs.
Yeah.
In fact, it's sometimes very painful. Somebody even forgot me. Despite all the arrangement we made for him, he forgot who I was. And so it's very interesting. I want to contribute to the discussion that just took place and say that, we are all students and we are all learning. Even our top managers in various institutions, they are not perfect. So at every point in time, if our leaders are taking some decisions which you feel that you have some information that can help them, please don't wait until Congress before you say it. You can help them there to make the decision. I'm saying this because my brother said he was in a meeting where certain prices were quoted, but he never told us that he made a contribution, that he had other alternatives. It would have been very helpful to our leaders at that precious time. And so let us all try to be proactive and give information or any kind of help we can to our leaders at the most pressing time so that they would make decisions that would be in the interest of all. Thank you very much. This is all I want to say.
Thank you, Mr. Kofi Alumo, once again. You've been very helpful to this administration, and we appreciate your good work in Shanghai. All right, thank you, sir. All right, so okay, so at this point, the document has been submitted. Can we, if there are no other objections, submission? Okay.
Yeah. Mr. President,
yes, sir.
I would like to ask. I've read your report over and over and over and over again, and I've not seen any case of welfare, like maybe an issue of welfare concerning Nugs members. Maybe if someone had a welfare issue that the NEC helped. I want to ask, is it that during your administration there was no welfare issues, or maybe maybe you didn't help, or maybe you forgot to capture it in there? Because we know that welfare is one of the most important aspects of Nugs, like membership, the membership drive. So I'd like to ask, was it that there were no welfare issues, or the NEC decided not to help anyone, or maybe you forgot to capture it? That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think with the welfare issues that we addressed or we helped in this year, I think we addressed one major health issue, which has been captured in the financial report. So in the financial report, you will see the welfare money that was issued out. That's why we didn't really capture it in the administrative report. So because it was an issue that was handed over to us. So we had to quickly solve that issue right when we came into office.
So as a suggestion, maybe next time, this is a very important aspect. So if you do such things, you should capture it in your report so that members will appreciate what Nugs is doing for them.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
Right,
and then also, I would like to ask about the Nugs-China app. Yeah, during the Honorable Collins's administration, they had they set up the Nugs-China app. Do you know about it? And like so far, I haven't heard about it. What has been done about it? Has it been stopped, or because we spent a lot of money on that? So I want to know. I want to know what you know about the Nugs-China app and what has been done about it so far.
Okay, I think generally the issue about the Nugs-China app is about its maintenance and continuity. The issue is that it seemed like a replication of the website. So that's my knowledge about it. So maintenance over the years has been a challenge. That's why we've not seen the app in its full effect. Yeah. So
Okay, that's Kanashi. Thank you. It's Kanashi.
yeah,
Okay, all
thank
right,
you
thank
very
you.
much. Thank you too. Okay, so congressmen and women, we have our guests in the house. So kindly, can we have movers if there be no objections or any issues again to our report? I want to. Okay, Mr. Nuku.
All right. In the absence of any further discussion, I, Nuku, move for the acceptance of the report as a true working document of this House. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nuku. Another, great phrasing, added asset that the union has had in this short period. Okay, so can we have a seconder? Congressmen and women. Are we here or we are gone home? Okay, Mr.
Boss, we do.
Okay, all right, Mr. Ben.
Okay, thank you. So I, Benjamin of Ahui chapter, second the motion for the acceptance of the report. Thank you.
All right, thank you too. And thank you all once again. It's been a privilege and an honor to have served as your national president for the 2022-2023 academic year. God bless us all. And until we meet again, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Without much ado, we will call on the Hanjo Secretary, Honorable Andrew Bram, to introduce our special guest.
Hi, please can I be heard?
Yes, please, you can be
Yes,
heard.
please.
Thank you. I'd like to read a brief profile of our speaker for this session, Nana Ajua Awendo. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, fellow delegates, it's with great pleasure and honor to have the opportunity today to introduce a distinguished guest, the person of Nana Hima Ajua Awendo. Nana Hima Ajua Awendo is the development queen mother of Efija Kwabre district in the Ashanti region. She's a veteran host of the popular television show Greetings from Abroad and the CEO of Premier Productions. In 2013, she was elected the first president of the Continental Executive Board of the African Queens and Women Cultural Leaders Network. She's a member of the Ghana National Union of Queen Mothers and the founder of the Obapa Development Foundation. Nana Hima is passionate about the girl child and is currently sponsoring needy girls in the Efija Kwabre district through school. With a round of applause and some fire emojis in the chat box, let's humbly welcome Nana Hima for this session.
Thank you very much, Honorable Charles Suffolk. Thank you very much, Honorable Andrew Brown.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear?
Hello.
Hello. Hello, you can hear me, right? Hello, you can hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please, we can, but then the network is unstable.
Hello, can you hear me?
Nana Hima, please, we can hear you, but the line is unstable. The network is unstable.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I'm going, right? Okay. All right. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I'm the president, Mr. Stephen, and of course, the vice president of Nugs-China, the LOC delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, my name is Nana Hiwaja, and I'm very delighted to be part of this very important delegate congress of Nugs-China. Today that we have networks and we have links, it's exciting that we are in different locations and we are connecting either to have this kind of, engagement. We would have, flown all over the place to one location together, but it is exciting that we can do this now. I'm very happy for the invitation to join you. I feel like being a student once again, and maybe I will consider that. Right, I'm happy because of the opportunity given me to share my thought on issues with the young cadres of our country, the future of our country, the next generation of our country. And anytime I get the opportunity, I'm very excited to, have this kind of interaction with a younger generation, knowing very well that that is the generation that is coming to handle our country, and every seed planted in them will germinate and would help us get our country to a better pedestal. The future of Ghana resides in your hands. Embrace it and put out your best in helping Mother Ghana wherever you find yourself. It's very important. I always cite a small example, that even if you are made to sweep a compound every day, sweep it so well that one day when you are not around, somebody will say, it looks like Nana is not here today because this compound doesn't look like it, So wherever you find yourself, make a mark and let's all come together and propel our country to grow. I know you all are studying, you're going to come back and help us do just that. Today's topic is the topic for discussion is embracing change, transforming challenges into opportunities. And the adage that says that if somebody throws lemons to you, don't see it as a problem, don't see it as an issue. Just pick the lemons up, make lemonades out of them. And I think that is exactly what we are going to look at this morning. Embrace change. Let's have an introduction. Embrace change and turning challenges into opportunities. It is actually a mindset and approach that can lead to personal growth, innovation, and success. And you get to understand this a bit more by the time we get to the end of this conversation. Change is inevitable in all aspects of life. Shifting is so serious for a lot of people. People do not want to leave their comfort zone. But as time goes on, if you have this kind of mindset, you realize that sometimes the lemons are even a blessing in disguise. So whether it's in our personal relationships, careers, or the world around us, whatever the case is, whatever comes our way, instead of resisting or fearing the change, we can actually choose to embrace it and find ways to transform these challenges into opportunities. Today, I share with you about 7 core points and 4 case studies. In fact, it might be 5 case studies because I'm going to share mine as well. And these case studies are about embracing change. So the first core point is to adopt a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication, effort, and a willingness to learn. I think they are very self-explanatory. Dedication, effort, and willingness to learn. If you don't want to shift, think about these 3 very powerful words. Embracing change requires seeing challenges as opportunities. So when the challenges are coming, sometimes you just look at it and say, oh, I know you're kind. I know you're kind and I know how to handle you. So it might be so subconscious to somebody, but you would take it so cool. And sometimes people ask that, why? Don't you feel pain? Don't you feel that, something hurts? Don't you feel it when somebody says something? And the way you take it so lightly, it's because of the mindset. It's because of the way you have set up your system. You've set it up such that it becomes a rebound. So instead of you absorbing it, internalizing it and making a whole lot of the issues, you just rebound it. Then you just check it out and see what can be done with these challenges. Embracing change requires seeing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to overcome. So you don't want to look at it as, what do I have to do to overcome this obstacle? But rather rebound, stabilize, strategize, and see what you can do with these challenges and turn it into opportunities. And we can also adopt growth, by cultivating a growth mindset. We can approach new situations with curiosity, resilience, and willingness to adapt. We can actually grow our mindset. We can adapt, we can dedicate, we can make some very strong efforts and bring some willingness to the cause. And I know that we'll be able to do better with whatever we are going to be confronted with. And then we go to the next core point is to stay adaptable. You remember we talked about adapting at the end of those 3 points. The adaptability or the ability to adapt is crucial when facing change. So we are still in transient, if you remember. Being adaptable means that you have to be open to new ideas, perspectives, and ways of doing things. So, this is what we've been doing every day. Who are you? When did you arrive? When an energetic young person has just entered your fold, and as a president of Nugs, as a vice president, as an executive, and you see this vibrant young guy coming into your fold, you can tell that the guy is intelligent. You can tell that he has ideas. But what are you adding up to? You should be ready. If I'm you, or if I'm the person who is seeing this vibrant young guy with brilliant ideas, up to date, technology, check, everything, check. I'll rather put the guy under my armpit and gently asking him, Charlie, this one, how do we do it? Charlie, this one, how do we do? What's the next move? Give me tips, you understand? So this is what you have to do. You have to be very, very, very ready to new ideas, perspectives, and ways of doing things. I used to do it like this, and we used to do it like that. No, if you stay in that state, you can be adaptable. You can get new things done. You can change all the issues into, opportunities. It involves being flexible, learning from failures and adjusting your approach as needed. Of course, you have to adjust. And if you fail and you're not ready to learn from it, then you are not growing. We are still talking about growing as well. Changing, using opportunities, getting them into positive stuff is a way of growing, and you will get to know at the end of the day. You have to adjust your approach as needed. You also to embrace change by adapting to new circumstances that can, you can seize the opportunity that may arise from unexpected situations. So you just chance on some situation and you realize that, wow, this is amazing. This one, I won't let it go. So you chance on that, unexpected situation, and then you make something good out of it. So that also makes you stay adaptable. We will talk about how to seek new perspectives. Do you remember we mentioned that you have to seek new perspectives? So change often brings different viewpoints and approaches. You have to engage with diverse perspectives and seek out different opinions. So remember my guy at the executive, the new young guy at the executive. So he's bringing diverse perspective and he's bringing different opinions, and somebody is threatened, somebody's position is threatened, and because of that, he wouldn't even want to listen to it. Meanwhile, this guy might, or maybe he has wonderful ideas and points that can actually grow the executive, grow the system, grow the structure. So we need to listen, we need to open up, we need to be ready to engage with diverse perspectives. And this can be done through conversations, networking, reading, or attending events. Look, I have opportunity to do so many conferences, workshops, seminars, and I sometimes sacrifice work and sometimes even something that could generate income to go to these programs, not because I don't have anything to do, but I see every opportunity. I see these programs or events as opportunity to learn something new. And I can assure you that it's never failed. Anytime I attend a program, I learn something new. Even if it's something that I have attended before, somebody might say something that will change my perception, that will add on to my knowledge. So I don't take those things for granted. And I think we should all be very, very open to seek new perspective, to be open-minded. Well, sometimes somebody will be telling you something, before the person reaches the middle, you've already locked your mind because you think you know about it already. No, you never know how the sentence is going to end. So be ready to take it in, be ready to listen and sift it. After all, if you even know it, sift it, you never know. You might come. We can also do that by exposing ourselves to new ideas, to expand our knowledge and open ourselves up to creative solutions. These are points that will help us seek new perspectives. So we go on to embrace lifelong learning. You may know by now that learning is a lifelong thing. Until you get into your grave, you must be ready to learn. Even people who are on retirement, they enjoy reading a lot. They enjoy listening to the news. They enjoy having conversations amongst themselves, their friends. If you meet retirees in their confines or in their own space, you enjoy their company so much because they bring out wonderful ideas and they discuss, amazing things. Look, there's an organization in Holland. I happen to, train a bit in Radio Netherlands, and there's an organization called PUM. Is a Netherlands. So I might not be able to say it all, but it's PUM, PUM. And PUM is this organization that takes up retirees and put them back into jobs. And they don't just go in as regular jobs or regular employees. They send them to the jobs as consultants, as mentors, as aides. And not only in Holland, they go all over the world. And I have even worked with some in Ghana before. And these are people who have retired, but because of the knowledge, the skills, the attitudes, and everything that they still have that is useful to our lifelong education, PUM puts them back into the system and gives them the opportunity to also make a livelihood. And I mean, you and I know that as long as you stay home, stay stagnant, stay, you unlearn everything and you may, rot off. So it's a very good, structure they have. And probably we may want to consider doing something similar in Ghana. So it's a lifelong. So even those who have retired, they have opportunity to work again. They have opportunity to learn again. And so it gives us that opportunity to embrace a lifelong learning structure or system that will give us that continuous, the edge that we have something to learn every day. Every day, something to put in your basket. And that will help you see whatever is coming to you, whether it's advantageous, whether it's an opportunity, and then you grab it as it comes. You have to embrace change. That means that you have to actively seek knowledge and skills that aligns with new trends and advancements. You remember my guy at the executive. Yes, he could be bringing in new trends. Okay, these days, ChatGPT does this, AI does that, and this one does that. These are new trends. These are advancements. These are issues. These are, technology that is coming, and it's coming with full force. So why not you update yourself? Why don't you catch up with the system? So if somebody is bringing new trends and new advancements and you are not ready to catch up with it, you know where you're going, isn't it? So we have to take advantage of online courses, workshop, conferences, or mentorship opportunities to enhance our skills and stay ahead of the curve. I mean, I say this most of the time. A lot of people know that this global village that we have in our palm has X number of advantages and Y disadvantages. But a lot of people see the Y disadvantages as their strength, because go and post that Nugs-China is having a congress and there's going to be a lecture on X topic. Post it and see how many people will like it and say, we're going to, we'd like to have the opportunity to be in this class. We all know that when you search the web, you can actually start P1 online and finish your PhD online without moving from your house these days. How many of us are doing that? Instead, we'll prefer to stand and, I'm sorry to say, half naked or total naked, or you let me stand and do a little bikini dance right now and put it on social media and see how many people will pass through and make comments. But I put a lot of things on social media, very important messages, courses, workshops, conferences, topics to discuss, women empowerment, girl child education, teenage mothers going to school. How many people will pass through and comment and say, oh, this is amazing. Oh, what can we do to support? This is beautiful. What are the next steps? People are excited with all the negativity, and that's what they want to stick to it. But if we take advantage of all the good things that are happening in our systems today, in this global world, in this village that we have right here in our palm, there's so much we can derive from it. We can get a lot of opportunities that will enhance our skills, that will make us stay ahead of the curve. The next point is foster resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back. Okay? So I have an Akan adage, the one who has fallen, who cannot get up is the one who is actually in a problem. I'll put it in a way. But if you are able to bounce back, you forget about the fall at a point in time, because you might actually bounce back stronger. So that makes you resilient. When you are able to bounce back from challenges and setbacks, sometimes it even gives you your ingredients for the opportunities. Because when you are down, you see so many things differently. And when you come back, you are able to use them. Haven't you heard about people going to prison and writing books? Haven't you heard about people going to prison and changing, learning skills and coming out and making it their business? So that is actually a form to our carnal knowledge. But coming back and making that fall, or leveraging on whatever you got from that fall and coming back stronger, makes you resilient. It involves maintaining a positive attitude, perseverance, and a belief in your ability to overcome difficulties. So, yes, I'm in a situation, I'm down, we are human, definitely you go into that space. But what you do with that space is what we are talking about. What you do during the time that you are down is what we are talking about. Are you going to throw tantrums for the whole world to hear about you? No. You stay in your closet, think about it, pray about it, find out the ingredients that you can turn around. The lemons and the processes through which you can pass to make the lemonade is what you have to do in your closet in the time that you are at your lowest point. That is what you have to do. So when you get up and you bounce back bigger and better, that makes you resilient. When faced with the change, focus on finding solutions and learning from the experience rather than dwelling on the negative aspect. So I'm down, okay, well, so I was given only three, mango seedlings, 3 mango seedlings, what can he do? Okay, me, I'm here. Me, I'll just put it in the corner. If it grows, fine. If it doesn't grow, I'm here. So 3 mango seedlings sit in your corner. And I take my 3 mango seedlings and nurture it very well. In the next 6 months, when we are asked to report on our outcomes, which of us will get something to show? We have to focus on finding solutions. We have to look at the fertilizer. We have to look at the water, how many times to sprinkle. We have to look at, the weather. Yes, it might be very hot. It's a negative, energy. Should I utilize it? Yes, I can use the heat for 1 hour, but the rest, let me put it find solutions. In the process, find solutions. You can find it from yourself. You can ask around. Finding is not just all from your head. You can discuss it. You can even ask younger people. In fact, these days, that's my style. I even ask the younger people. I'm an editor by profession. I do video editing. I teach. As I speak to you, I still edit in my 60 plus. But if I need anything modern, latest, I ask my son Farai, because he's doing 3D, he's doing extraterrestrial, he's doing things that I can't even start thinking about. You understand? So finding solutions is not just right here. You can also find out from somebody else. And you turn all these outcomes into something positive to your advantage. Resilience allows you to turn challenges into stepping stones for personal and professional growth. That's amazing, isn't it? It is amazing. So embrace, I have enumerated earlier. So start to school. Yes, square. This is how we do it every day. We want to do it every day. This is it. So the moment somebody says X is equal to Y, today I'm thinking that let's figure out if X is equal to K, what would be the situation? Masa, don't bring any if your X is equal to Y. That's why we know. But the situation is changing. The world is changing. AI is not the same as even ChatGPT. They have different components. They have their own way of presenting themselves. So if you understand one thing and somebody is giving you another, be open for innovations and creativity. Look for ways of thinking about that square that you have here in your mindset, that square that you have in the association, that square box that you have planted in your office, that square box that is in your family that you don't want to step out of it. Find a way to step out of the box, and you see that there will be so many opportunities you've never even thought about. Embrace innovation. Embrace new technologies, methodologies, and approaches that can help you adapt and thrive in changing environments. By embracing innovation, you can actually differentiate yourself from others and create value in new and exciting ways. So sometimes when I do something in video and somebody says, how are you able to do these things? Or I mean, at this age, I'm like, you know, the guys who are feeding me, they are young, so I'm young at heart, you know, that's amazing. But that is the truth. I embrace innovation and it makes me different from the others. And I try to create value for myself in so many exciting ways. Let's learn how to cultivate a support network. Nugs-China. There's so much in that network that you can just derive advantage from. Surround yourself with a supportive network of colleagues, people who will help you learn, people who will help you open your mind, people who will help you with ideas, people who will help you to progress, people who will help you grow. Be mindful of those, the other ones, because they also exist. Don't think that everybody that comes into your fold is there to guide you, is there to help you. No, there are some people who actually come into your fold to bring you back because they realize you are getting too fast ahead of them. But you should be able to know. That is why you need mentors. You need people who provide guidance and encouragement during this time of change. It's very important. Share your challenges and seek advice from those who have experienced similar situations. You remember, I mentioned it, that you can also share. You can also ask. You seek for advice. You seek for help. I have this very, very traumatic tendencies. I don't know what is happening. Can you tell me? So Charlie, relax. This, I've seen it, but it's the way you handle it. So let's take it step by step, you know. First of all, relax. Realize that you're not alone, you know. It happens to most people. A, B, C, D can be done. And then let's start with this. You've got a mentor. You've got somebody to hold your hand. You've got somebody to take the next step with you. You've got somebody who would advise, encourage you, and not let you feel so down and out, because that is already steps to the negative side, that some people have tendencies, negative tendencies, because they don't share what is happening to them. And somebody recently, a student at Tech, you know, wanted to jump how many floors? I don't think if this person had the opportunity to converse, to discuss, whatever the problem was, that person would have attempted that jump. So remember, anytime, get that supportive network around yourself during this change. Share your challenges, seek advice. Very important, from people who have experienced it. Your pastor, your father, your mentor, your lecturer, your colleagues, senior colleagues, even your peers. You know, we have peer educators, people, there are some peers of yours. You can tell that, yes, they have so much energy. They have so much knowledge. And tapping it doesn't make you a least person, though. Tapping it doesn't make you any less. That makes you even more intelligent, because you'll be adding on to yours. So a strong support network can also provide valuable insights, alternative perspective, and a sense of community as you navigate through the change. So this kind of network will provide you valuable insights. There will be different opinions. There will be different inputs. There will be different perspectives. There will be different advice levels. Just listen, accept it. Pick what is good for you and use it to your advantage. So those were the 7 core points. So in summary, embracing change and turning challenges into opportunities require growth mindset. You remember? Adaptability, openness to new perspectives. Our guy, you remember our guy in the committee or the executive? Continuous learning, you remember the old people, right? The resilience, bouncing back, a focus on innovation and supportive network. Innovation like the digital systems I spoke about, and this supportive network of Nugs-China, parents, family, lecturers, all this amazing, amazing supportive network that you have. By adopting this approach, you can transform change into a catalyst for personal and professional growth, leading to greater success and fulfillment in life. Now, let's consider the following case studies and identify how they are related to our topic. So let's look at the first case study. I was going to start with mine, but let me give you one from Sarah. So meet Sarah, a marketing executive who felt unfulfilled and stuck in a career that no longer resonated with her passions. Despite the uncertainty, she summoned the courage to embrace change and pursue her true calling. Sarah's decision to transition into the field of sustainable development not only aligned with her values, but also opened doors to a fulfilling career where she could make a positive impact on the world. Sarah's inspiring story teaches us that change can be that catalyst of self-discovery and professional growth. By acknowledging our inner yearnings and embracing career transitions, we can uncover a true purpose and find fulfillment in our work. Sarah's case is very similar to one that I listened to yesterday on social media, of course. And this lady was talking about how she was working in an office and she felt so boxed. She wanted to exhale. She said she felt like there is something she in her that is not being utilized at the office. So even though it was challenging, even though she knew she was not going to have a salary at the end of the month, she still wanted to step out of that box and see what the world can do with her. And as I speak to you now, she has an amazing, amazing global network of women, and she's doing so well. She writes, she has, I'm sure you can tell, some of you can tell who I'm talking about, and so many things is going well for her. So it is important that if you realize there's an inner yearning, and it has to even affect your career transition, you may want to risk it, but be sure that the step you are taking is going to help you find fulfillment in your work. So the relationship here is embracing career transition, finding your true calling. So let's look at mine. So about 25, 26 years ago, I was lecturing at NAFT, and it's my alma mater. So I studied there, graduated, went to work at Video Mart, and then NAFT called me back to lecture. As a young teacher, I had opportunity to study elsewhere. So I went to Radio Netherlands Training Center for a training of trainers course. And when I went, it was a short course, about 6 months, but it's actually a compressed course. So it's almost like you going to do a postgraduate course. And then when we finished, we were supposed to do our dissertation like everybody else does. So we being filmmakers and the others who were radio producers, they were doing programs on radio. We, those of us who are coming from film background, television backgrounds, etc., documentary, who were doing film as our dissertation. In fact, apart from writing your how many pages, you still have to add the practical work. So I happened to, choose a documentary, and those were, some of, I'm talking about 25, 26 years ago or more. Those were the days that you don't have what we have today. So people traveled out, and in Ghana, we had all kinds of, understanding, perspective, notions about people outside. So I was also embracing different cultural shocks on my travels. I went to workshops, I went to conferences, but this was a training program. So I had to heal for a long time. I mean, longer than I used to do, in the short trips. So I cultivated some friendships, relationships around, and I happened to attend a program, and someone told me that, there's an Edurofie. I'm sure you know what Edurofie is. There's a name for it to come soon. There's a Edurofie not far away from here, and there are some Ghanaians there. The person talking to me was a Ghanaian. And if you don't mind, one day we can visit the place. So I was very curious. Now, I wanted to know what they do at the Edurofie, because those days, we used to hear that people talk about they seek asylum. So I wanted to understand it. I visited the place. We had audience. A few of them, 2 or 3 of them, were very happy to see us. I mean, nobody knew. And so we talked. And that actually it clicked my imagination. And I'm like, can we do something with you? Sorry, I had some noise, so I paused. So I said, can we do something with you? And then the people said, what exactly? And I said, you know what? I'm coming from Ghana, and listening to the stories that I'm hearing now, I have a feeling that it would be good for Ghana to hear that apparently it's not all the people who say they're going to Abuja who are walking on gold streets, but there are people who are at asylum, who live in bunk houses, who live in dormitories, who live in how many people in one room. And even though I was not going to expose it in all the hardships, I was ready to tell the story in a more refined way, but to let the message come out. So the people agreed. I'm sure you can imagine what I went back. I did my script, I did shooting schedule, everything as part of dress, marked it out. Everything was perfect. And me brother, we will see. Rather, he says, you people, you journalists, when you take this thing, you send it to Ghana, and somebody will know where I am. This one said no, this one said no. And you can't imagine. That was like a few days to the end of my program. And what am I going to do to turn this negative energy I'm getting into something good? I went back to campus and re-strategized. And I spoke to my lecturers. And one of them advised that look for something very quick to do. I know you can do it. I have a friend at Schiphol Airport. He's in charge of training. Let me find out from him if we can do something with them. So quickly he made some calls. And then eventually, in 2 days, I had to change my script, do everything quick, and go to Schiphol and shoot a training session of cabin crew who were on a flight. And you know the topic we discussed, when do you find fear in flights? So we discussed this, and we were able to do a short documentary on that. Guess what? When I got back to Ghana, long story short, I sat down one day and I'm still thinking, I'm like, so this information I have is just going to die with me, that people travel from Ghana and they are sitting in dormitories, they are sitting in asylum, and their parents and their families are sitting here nagging that they are not bringing them money. And they've been there since. And of course, you call mommy and Kwame Koyen. Yes. So this information has to come out in a way to educate us as a people in Ghana, and also to caution those who are going abroad on so many risky routes. Because I got to know at that time, those who were going per the northern route, those who were doing stowaway, those who, these were things that I got to learn during that period. And I was very open, very open for all the things that were coming in through. So when I got back, see what we can do about this. So we planned a northern trip. We went to Ghana Films. They had this old, didn't want anything electronic, and there was this
I think Queen Mother is having a challenge now. If the DJ is around, he can give us a musical interlude whilst we wait for it. Mr. DJ.
Sorry, Honorable Charles Safari. Sorry I couldn't introduce you. Please, could you kindly facilitate the session when our Queen Mother is done? Thank you very much.
Right, thank you.
Can you hear this song? If you hear this song, get your kicks on. No time, my brother, we go. We go. You know, me a grow no more. We don't do it. Big and best. No more. It was sweet for countryside. They go see me, for countryside. If they go see me, they go countryside. They go see me, for countryside. If they go see me, they go follow man them go. Countryside. Time not to wait for nobody. What if I can't? I want to what else with the waste time. Everybody get your own blessing. I touch a man as well. So why you hate man? By the time I'm ready to better when I be doing, I'm on the material and the boom baseline. People say me you a hint to be chinko. You have home. I go 2 minutes bedtime. If it's a more drumming, where the love at? It's an amount of time I know the call back. I feel like because of fame, will be all that. But what you like, everybody fall back. So when the good time comes, so the mud will pile up for the countryside. If you don't want to go see the people, will start for the ride inside. See me for countryside. Yeah, they go see me, they go follow man them go. For countryside. If you they go see me, they go follow man them go. For countryside. Yeah, they go see me, for countryside.
Hello, can you hear me now? Sorry. Hello, hello.
Yes, please, you can be heard.
Hello.
I think she's back. She's back. All right.
Oh, okay. I'm back. Sorry, I think the line went off. I was originally going to put the video off, but I thought I should leave it on. So that's fine. Okay, so sorry about that. I was actually, and then to cut a long story short, when I got back, we were able to, design a program with that experience that I had, the experience of getting to know a story, getting to know, the truth about some issues that we in Ghana didn't have an idea what exactly was happening. And that is what I turned it into Greetings from Abroad program. Eventually, my husband went to school in America. And one day he just called and said, that idea you had, there's a very good Ghanaian community here. I think we could do a test run with them and see how it can be, replicated. So we started with Greetings from Abroad in Chicago 25 years ago. And then we went to New York, New Jersey, and the tri-state, and we did the pilot. That is where it started. Even though we were doing the highs and the hellos, the real message in Greetings from Abroad is not the greetings that you see, it's the stories of the people shared, it's the issues that we have opportunity of hearing, is the issues that we have opportunity of, identifying with. And the fact that people had opportunity and a platform to communicate to their people, to let them understand the reality of their lives and to be able to understand them. That is exactly what we try to bring to the people of Ghana. And that is the story of Greetings from Abroad. So in actual fact, I was at the lowest of my wits, looking at the fact that I had prepared so well for this documentary. And when these people decided that they would not, compromise their, their life stories for me to put on, in a documentary format, it didn't actually deter me. I was at my lowest. I was disappointed. I was out into something huge. And look at how far we have come. and the kind of impact it has made, the kind of, people it has reached, and the kind of, network we've been able to build across the globe. So this is a very interesting case study, mine. So we go to the next one, which is Mark. Mark, who experienced a painful breakup that shattered his world. In the midst of the heartbreak, he had made conscious choice to turn inward and embark on a journey of self-love and healing. Through his introspection, therapy, and nurturing self-care practices, Mark transformed his pain into an opportunity for personal growth. I like that story. Mark's story teaches us that change in relationships can serve as a powerful catalyst for self-reflection and personal development. By embracing the lessons from past experiences, we can actually cultivate self-love, resilience, and the ability to form healthier connections in the future. The relationship here, of course, navigating relationship changes from heartbreak to self-love transition. Interesting, very, very interesting. Case study 3, meet Lisa, who faced health challenge that shook the foundation of her well-being. Instead of succumbing to the despair, she chose to view her illness as a wake-up call to prioritize self-care and make positive lifestyle changes. This is very similar to mine, but this is a little bit deeper. Through adoption, a holistic approach to her health, including these days, when I get up, I want to do a few jumps, I want to do at least 2 miles of walk, and stress management techniques, you do acupressure and all those things. It's things that you bring into your system just to see to it that you're well, but also emerge stronger and more resilient. Lisa's journey reminds us that even in the face of health challenges, and remember, a lot of us are confronted with it, we have the power to take control of our well-being by embracing change and making conscious choices that support our health. We can unlock a new vitality and inner strength. Relationship, embracing health challenges, the path to resilience and care. And remember, all these points, we just listened to it enumerated in our previous discussion. Meet David, who found himself feeling stagnant and unfulfilled in his comfort zone. You remember the lady I used as an example at the beginning, who felt that she was in a box, underutilized. So recognizing the need for growth and expansion, he decided to step out of his familiar surroundings and embrace new experiences. David took up challenging hobbies. Maybe I should go and start playing golf. That would be nice. Traveled to unfamiliar places and sought opportunities for personal and professional development. So David's inspiring story demonstrates that personal growth often lies just outside your comfort zone. Yeah? And your comfort zone includes your box. That box we've been talking about is your comfort zone. Everything is in the box. So when you want it, you just do this and pick. I want this, then you pick. I want that. The moment you step out, you are disoriented. So you need to know that your comfort zone is not where you have to be all the time, 24/7. Challenge yourself, get out of the box. By embracing change and actively seeking new experiences, we open ourselves up to valuable lessons, self-discovery, and a deeper understanding of our own capabilities. The relationship here, embracing personal growth, stepping out of our box, our comfort zones. We are almost done. So the conclusion now is, in all the above case studies, including mine, change, though often met with resistance, that resistance, you remember, with the guys at the asylum, holds incredible potential for personal transformation and growth. So that was what propelled me. And in actual fact, the truth is, if they had agreed for me to do documentary, I don't think we would have had greetings from abroad for now. I don't see anywhere that it would have come across, because I would have had the documentary anyway, and it would have been okay for me. I have a story. Probably I would have just given it to GBC to show, just to, educate people once, and that would have been it. We couldn't also go on the northern trip because there was so much involved, and it was actually a disappointment. It was a deterrent. It was something that almost made us stop out, So the inspiring examples of Sarah, Mark, Lisa, and David illustrate the power of embracing change in various aspects of life. Relationship changes, facing health challenges, or seeking personal growth. We have the ability to harness change as a catalyst for self-improvement. By embracing change with an open mind, courageous heart, and a willingness to learn and adapt, remember, adaptations, we can transform challenges into stepping stones towards a more fulfilling and meaningful life. So let us embrace change as an opportunity to discover our true selves, nurture resilience, and unlock the boundless potential. There's so much within us that we need to explore. We need to tease it out. We need to be open. Yeah. And with each step we take, we embark on a remarkable journey of self-discovery. Growth. Remember, I kept talking about growth, and an unwavering belief in our ability to thrive amidst the ever-changing tapestry of life. Long live Nugs-China, long live Ghana. Thank you, and God bless us all. Thanks for the opportunity to be part of this amazing, amazing program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Queen Mother, and we are honored to have you here today. We bring you greetings from China too. All right, fellow Congress.
Wonderful. We'll find opportunity of visiting you.
We look forward to that. Fellow Congress members, if you have any question, you can raise your hand or possibly put in the comment section. But firstly, let me lay the foundation by talking about network. I think in one of your interviews, you did mention how you use your platform to build networks and how much it has helped you in your career. I'm asking, is it to say that someone might say, I have no platform, not to talk of getting connections. So how do we use the little platform, the small platforms we have in getting the said connections, please?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The platform doesn't have to start big. It doesn't have to start large. You start with your environs. You start at church. You start, with your associations. You start. The network shouldn't be anything, be a nation. It can be just a network of old students whom you've not seen each other for a long time, and one day you crash into someone at a wedding or social function and said, it's a long time we met, why don't you call ABC? And then you begin with setting up a WhatsApp platform and start conversations amongst yourselves. And then one day you say, oh, let's sit out, let's do body meeting. It starts like that. And you would be amazed the kind of support system that kind of network has. Because I have network of ladies, entrepreneurs. I have network of friends. In life, we have been encouraged over and over and over again that we have to keep our friends. And I have friends from secondary school. In fact, I have friends from elementary school that I still associate myself with. So these are amazing network of people that you can start with, and you expand it into others. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to, affect your lifestyle, because sometimes you also get into so many things, and then every day you have to be somewhere. So you have to also, be circumspect about it. But as I said, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start small. A few of you can start supporting each other, advising each other, encouraging each other. There are situations where somebody even needs something quick cash. And friends just say, oh, Charlie, you bring this, you bring this. Then they support the person. It happens all the time. Start from somewhere. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Is there anyone who wants to ask Queen Mother some questions? All right, let's also acknowledge that Queen Mother is the mother of our favorite vocalist, Efia, in the entertainment industry in Ghana. Yeah. Thank you for giving us Efia.
We thank God for her life.
Okay, and then again, each and everyone wants to, change. We are ready to embrace the change. But there is this concept of fear. Is there any point in your career where you got to a point like, oh, I'm afraid of starting something, but you ended up taking up that challenge, please?
Fear is expected. If you remember when I was even talking about the lady who was in this office and wanted to leave, but was wondering, where is my paycheck going to come from? These are all fear tendencies. I mean, what is in the unknown? What is going to happen tomorrow? These are all fear tendencies. These are things that occur to you to hinder you from taking that step. So it is fear. I've come across it severally. At a point, I wanted to stop doing the program. There was no sponsorship. There was, everything seemed to be crumbling. Our office at Adabraka was flooded. Everything we had worked for how many years, God knows, went down the drain. We went into crisis, rock bottom crisis. But we were able to pick it up gradually. And it's actually a gradual thing. You learn how to, if you remember in my presentation, I said it, at a point in time, you will be at your lowest, but be resilient. Get back on your feet, dust yourself, and ask, what next? Because if you're thinking about what is happening or what just happened, you might not take that bold step, but the first step is very important. So that first step is sometimes where you need somebody to hold your hand. That first step, because I remember very well that the recent seasons that we started on Greetings from Abroad, we had paused for about 4 or 5 years. One day I was there and somebody very notable in Ghana called me and said, Nana, TV so I check. At a Mwejai program, Nana, it's a long time I saw you on TV. Have you stopped? And I said, yes, Mama, it's a woman. And he says, what is the problem? And I said, well, it's been very difficult getting sponsorship for programs like this. In as much as the whole Ghana and beyond are hailing the program and hailing us and telling us how good it is and how positive and the impact and everything that it brings to us, it's very difficult for people to commit resources to the process. So, at a point, we really hit it, and we pre-financed the program from our own resources for a long time, and we got to a point that we could not handle it. So we said, okay, let's pause and see where we can come back. But you see, that woman said, okay, let me see what I can do. Within 2 weeks, she called me back and said, there's a program happening in Chicago, Ghana Fest. And if your team is interested, we can arrange for you to go, because there are some artists going. some cultural leaders are attending. It's a special one. And so if your team can go and cover it, you can go with them. And then I said, yes. Can you believe that when we went back to the Chicago Festival and did, this is like 2015 and 2015.
Mother is having a challenge.
Not stop.
In the meantime, you can keep your questions coming so that when she comes in, she'll address them.
Greetings again. But we had stopped to bring us back on air. The person who held my hand, at a point in time, you will need somebody to. Sorry, I think the call interrupted because that's where the internet is coming from. So can you hear me now?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Yeah, so that person played that role at that point in time. So you should be open for, you should be open for that as well. You should be ready for somebody to mentor you. You should be ready for somebody to hold your hand, take the first bold steps with you. And that will really help. Yeah, that will really help.
Okay, Queen Mother, so there is a question. It says, can all challenges be turned into opportunities? When do you give up and accept that this particular one is a challenge, if you have to?
Interesting question. Yes, I wouldn't say there's a fast rule about it, that every challenge can be turned into an opportunity. I wouldn't say that. But as much as possible, we are learning how to do that as much as possible. So this process, this conversation is about how we can turn it into opportunities. It doesn't say that every misfortune is a blessing. No, it doesn't say that. But at a point, you can tell that this is not working. At a point, you can tell. There are situations where you can really tell that this is not working, and I don't even have to hammer it. Otherwise, you'd rather mess up. So when you get to that point, I think it's better to look at other opportunities, not to be, hammering on one thing when you know it is not working. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much. Honorable Kofi, please, you have the platform.
Thank you very much, Ofori. Thank you, Nanaima. There is this thing we always say, Ghana man time. Since today we are talking about a sense of responsibility and our attitudes. There's this thing called Ghana man time that even when we travel, it's unfortunate that even abroad, when we have events, people come late and we are not able to follow time, and it's really a problem. Sometimes even in China here, it creates problem between us and the Chinese people because they don't joke with their time. And so since you are an elderly person, very experienced, also having dealt with the diaspora for long, what advice do you have for us on time management as young people? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. 1,000 miles starts with a step. And I think that it is not cool for us to say that we have Ghana time. It's not cool at all. And we say it so many times, but personally, what have we done about it? What have we done to correct that kind of statement, if I should put it that way? We can do that individually. We can do that as a group. We can do that as a community. We can do that and not just do it once or twice. We have to be consistent and we have to sustain it. That is the only time that you can say that this is working. Otherwise, we will just continue saying it. And I don't think it's cool. Recently, we had a meeting, Unity Queens. We have a very strong and amazing Queen Mothers Ghana network. And we went on a retreat at Adan at the beginning of the year to strategize on whatever we want to do for the year. Our advocacy topics, our programs, locations, support systems, social. I heard somebody talking about President not talking about how you support each other in your social systems. You know, it's very important in associations like this. People are very interested in what is informing. So it has to come out. So we went to discuss all these things. One thing we talked about at that meeting is that nobody should get late this year for any meeting. And let's start with the executive. So when there's a meeting and we have to start at 5 o'clock, I get there at 4:30. I can even get there at 4 o'clock, go and sit down and actually do my work. I try as much as possible. I don't say I'm perfect. No, not at all. I'm making the effort. So that is what we all have to do. We have to make the effort. So this notion, this statement, Ghana time will be killed. At least, if not with my generation, your generation, we should be able to kill it. But it takes an effort of individuals like those of us here, and of course, we passing it on to the next generation. If you happen to be a teacher, tell your students. If you happen to be a preacher, tell your congregation. If you happen to be an MP one day, tell your community. And wherever you find yourself, let people know. Recently, we had a program in Adum Kwangoma, menstrual hygiene, World Menstrual Hygiene Day. We celebrated it in Kwangoma. Deputy Minister for Gender, she was the special guest of honor. She got there 2 hours before the event started, 2 hours. In fact, when she came to park, I was on the field. We had finished setup, we had finished everything, but the people were not seated. They were trickling in. I went to her car, welcomed her, and then I was so excited. I said, let me take you home. And she says, oh, let's take you. I said, oh, no, Honorable, let me take you home. It's not far from here. So when they're ready, we'll bring you back. 2 hours. We went to sit. She was reading. She didn't even want to take anything. You know, if you have these kind of leaders, somebody who will attend an event 2 hours before the main thing started, when the event was late to start, the special guest of honor was there already. So if we have, talk about it. If I see this, next time I would ensure that I'll do the same. If you do the same, those of us in this house today, how many are we now? 53? If each of us, 53, affect 10 people with this message, we'll be making inroads. And I think that is how to go about it and get the younger ones to understand it so that their generation will correct the wrongs. I think we'll make a mark if we start now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Queen Mother. Honorable Manuel, kindly be brief with your question. We take Manuel's question and one other and bring the session to an end. Manuel, please take over.
Okay.
Honorable.
I'm here.
All right, thank you.
All right, sure. Mommy, thank you so much for your time and your contribution to humanity. I just want to find out one thing. I've gone through your profile. Then I realized that it's just from one responsibility to the next responsibility, to the next, to the next, to the next. And then even until today, you still have a lot of responsibilities on you. I want to find out from you, what is that one thing that is helping you to be updated, relevant, and also still up in the game? Because you realize that there has been instances where people will come up as mentor, but within a particular decade, then you will not hear from them again. I mean, if we look at your profile, I mean, from one onto the being a lecturer, being a mother, a teacher, a mentor, a broadcaster, a marketer, up to today, you are still relevant in the game, and we are benefiting and tapping into this contribution. What is that one thing, if you don't mind?
I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. You see, I believe God. I believe in God, and I believe that my sustainability depends on the Supreme Being. When I get up in the morning and I see another day, I am so excited, and I thank God for it, that I have another opportunity to be impactful. What keeps me going is that I'm very prayerful, and I believe that it is one of the reasons why I keep going. The second thing is that I am open. Some of the things that we talked about today, I am very open to new things. I'm very open to innovation. I'm very open to learnings, new learnings. I'm very, very open to adaptations. When I completed NAFTI, I worked, I don't know, there may be some PhD students amongst you, so you are grown enough to know that I started my career in the film industry as a camera woman. Before I even attended NAFTI, I was a camera woman. And so I was, in fact, the first lady in Ghana who held video camera to work with professionally. I was not trained yet. I was trained on the job. So when I went to NAFTI, a lot of people thought I was doing camera. No, I specialized as an editor, but I combined what I knew already. And because I was doing camera, when I went to NAFTI, I was interested in camera. So I even attended classes sometimes when I'm free and they're doing camera class. When we're on location doing production, I prefer to handle the camera. And then later when I go back, I do the editing. So you see, I had an advantage even before I finished school. I had an advantage. Somebody would just go and do one thing and I could do 3 things. When I finished school and I tried to work in the system, I was a filmmaker, but I wasn't a marketer. I was a filmmaker. I wasn't a salesperson, but I initiated a training school. I initiated a sales space. I initiated other services. So Premier Production started very small. And the reason why it grew is because I needed to train myself to be able to market whatever I was bringing to the market. So I went to GIMPA to study marketing management. At a point in time, when I realized that I was employing people to work with me, I went to GIMPA to do management. You know, at every point in time, whatever you want to do, I think you need a little bit of education in it. Skills are fine, intuitions are fine. You know, some people are born very, very, artistic. It's very good. But when you want to zero in on something, I think the best thing is to go and have a little brush of it so you know exactly what you're doing. And that is why when we started training people in camera and editing, a lot of the people who were already on the field doing video camera coverages and things, they felt it was good for them to come and study. and the difference was clear. Somebody will be doing street videos. By the time we finish the 6 weeks training, 8 weeks training, the person is going on attachment at a television station. The person ends up being a television cameraman. So this is what keeps us going. Not just me, a lot of people that you see who stay relevant, who are still on their toes. They like to learn, they are open for innovation, they are open for criticisms and corrections. And don't think anybody who is criticizing you is against you. That is one of the ways that you learn. So I think these are some of the tips. And there are more to it, though. There are more to it. Thanks.
All right, Kwemada, thank you so much. Your profile is just inexhaustive. And our last question for today. Did I hear you say that the goal for greetings from abroad, or the main intent behind greetings from abroad, was not the hello and highs we're hearing, and that's was the story of those people seeking asylum and the story of people in the diaspora?
Exactly. Not only the asylum, but the backstory. You would say that the greetings is the icing on the cake. So, Mechia Asumesi, I want to say hi, but the story, the interviews, you have something to ask, right?
Yes, please. Yeah. So that was my preface to the question. I mean, then some of us did miss it, because from what I said, I was thinking it was just the hellos and the highs. Now, relating that to the theme of today, how do you sustain the change you were causing? Now you were educating Ghanaians, how people were struggling in the diaspora, and all of a sudden you stop along the line. So let's say you laid the foundation. Was it sustainable? Is it that Ghanaians came to appreciate the fact that, I mean, there was a set of challenges people face in the diaspora?
I believe strongly that we made an impact and the understanding came through. If you I don't know if you heard, but one of legal lecturers, her name will come and I'll mention it as soon as it comes. She wrote a book, The 11th Region of Ghana. And this was after how many years that we had done greetings from abroad. And she made reference to this program in her book. And she actually invited me to the launch of the book and acknowledged the work that we had done. If for nothing at all, that alone gives us the indication that somebody somewhere saw the positive outcomes and impacts of greetings from abroad. And also, if you know about it, we started back home again and it's still running. So now we do greetings from abroad and back home again. And the idea for the back home again started when we followed up on people that we had met earlier abroad, encouraged them to come back home, and they had made that bold step of coming back. So we took it as a responsibility to follow up on whatever they were doing, and then if possible, put it out there. So we followed up on Tema, when this young man came and started doing energy saving bulbs in Ghana. We followed up and we met him in Atlanta, Georgia years ago. We followed up on this gentleman who came from Chicago and he was doing MVP hair products, Mr. Ajiman. Years ago, we met him in Chicago. We did interview. That time they were doing Vital hair products. We were so excited that a Ghanaian man was into this business with Americans. And I spoke to him. I mean, I told him, this is beautiful, but you can do it in Ghana. Eventually, this man moved to Ghana, set up MVP in Ghana. And I made it a point that Ghana should know that this product was here, being done in Ghana by our own Ghanaians. So these are just a few of many examples that we started doing back home again with. And then we extended it now into communities of where people have lived and migrated back to their community to make impact, even if you have not traveled out and you have moved from Accra to Paroma to make impact. Of course, it's important for us to encourage people who are doing that so that many others will see develop the communities instead of all this urban migration. So these are things that you could actually call tangibles as outcomes of the program and the processes that we went through. So if that answers your question.
Yeah, I think for the time, we'll say thank you so much. I'm satisfied with the answer. Yeah. Can the media team help us with the presentation of citation, please? Okay, so the National Union of Ghanaian Students NUGS Citation of Honor presented to Nana Adjoa Awendo in recognition of exceptional contributions as a guest speaker at the 35th Annual Congress of Nugs-China. With deep admiration and heartfelt appreciation, the National Union of Ghana Students China presents the citation of honor to Nana Adjoa Awendo for her remarkable contribution as a guest speaker at the 35th Annual Congress of Nugs-China. Your thought-provoking address on the theme, Embracing Change, Turning Challenges into Opportunities, left an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of all those in attendance. Through your profound expertise and unwavering commitment to embracing change and transforming challenges into opportunities, you have inspired a generation of students and professionals to navigate uncertainties with resilience and determination. Your invaluable insights into seizing opportunities and reframing challenges have empowered our attendees, equipping them with the mindset and tools necessary to embrace change as a catalyst for growth and success. This citation of honor serves as a testament of your exceptional contributions to our events, your dedication to inspiring individuals to embrace change, overcome challenges, and seize opportunities has transformed the mindset and aspirations of attendees. Thank you so much, Nana Hima. Thank you so much, CEO. Thank you so much, consultants, for your presence.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very honored and for the citation. And I pray that these little drops will fall in good soil and germinate so that one day we would all reap the rewards. God bless you and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I've enjoyed my time here. Thank you.
Pleasure, Harvest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Charles Ofori. You've done a very good job. And then thank you so much to our very own beautiful Nana Adjoa Awendo. I believe we all have had a wonderful time, and I believe we all are taking something educative home as she has motivated us. Could we have our lovely DJ Juice play a music interlude before we start with our Senate reports? Thank you very much.
Let's go. I'm at the point in life, if you understand me or not, misunderstand me or not, me, I'm okay. I'm okay. And if you think I'm wrong or not, long as it's what I want, me, I'm okay. I'm okay. 'Cause who are you to judge me like say you be holy past? I did love my life, them peace of mind, I did try solve
my DJ Jules. Thank you so much. Well, therefore, DJ Jules, thank you so much. We'll call on the National Financial Controller, Honorable Charles Osakia, to give us the National Financial Report. Thank you very much.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much. Sorry, congressmen and women. Honorable Charles Asakia is not here, so I would be reporting on our finances. Let me share my screen. Hey, I need to forward on the page. All right, so I'll be sharing the report on delegates page so you can go through whilst I read. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon once again, congressmen and women. I'll be sharing our financial report on behalf of our NFC. So, National Union of Ghana Students, Nugs-China, receipts and payments from 1st September 2022 to 12 July 2023. Details, notes, amounts. We have our balance brought down of 66,002.86 yuan, and dues payments amount to 7,908 RMB. We had a sponsorship of 400 RMB, proceeds from SASH 312, and welfare 50,681. Please kindly mute your mic if you're not talking. Thank you. So our total receipts is 125,303.86 RMB. Now our payments transfers amount to 213.41 RMB. ID for Nugs-China laptop and documents 107 RMB. Zoom subscription 2,187. Roundtable discussion 164.02. Cloud storage 398. ID for Nugs-China receipts 61 RMB. Pen drive to transfer NFC files 35 RMB. So our total payments is 3,165.43 RMB. If you subtract the payments from the receipts, we'll have a total surplus of 122,138.43 RMB. Now, a breakdown of our payments and receipts here. So our balance brought down is the total amount of money handed over to the current National Financial Controller from the Nugs-China main account. The past NFC handed over an amount of 66,002.86 RMB to the present NFC. Our membership dues, as stipulated in Article 30, Clause A. A source of funding for Nugs-China is the annual membership dues. Below is the breakdown of the national dues collected from chapters during the 2022-2023 academic year. Per the welfare policy of Nugs-China, 40% of the total dues paid in an academic year go into the welfare account. Below is the breakdown of the dues received from the various chapters. So we received an amount of 1,850 from Anhui chapter, 600 from Beijing, 300 from Changzhou chapter, 280 from Xi'an chapter, 200 from Guangzhou, 850 from Wuhan, 800 from Hangzhou, 1,300 from Zhenjiang, 700 from Zhengzhou, 400 from Xiamen, 500 from Jingzhou, 700 from Nanjing, 1,600 from Taiyuan, 300 from Nanchang, 1,600 from Shanghai, 100 from Chengdu, and 900 from Jinhua. Oh, sorry, 200 from Xi'an as well. So our total dues amounts to 13,180 RMB. However, 40% of 13,180, which is 5,272 RMB, goes into the welfare account. So our remaining balance as dues paid in the main account is 7,908 RMB. Sponsorship. An amount of 400 RMB was received from Rain Concepts as sponsorship to support the Nugs-China Entrepreneurship Clinic. Proceeds from SASH. Sashes were produced at a cost for graduating students. A total of 15 students purchased, and the breakdown is as follows. Non-good standing members paid 120, and 4 people were not in good standing. So 4 people paid 120, which is 480 RMB, and members in good standing were supposed to pay 80 RMB. So 11 good standing members purchased the sash, amounting to 880 RMB. So our total receipts from the sashes were 1,360 RMB. Now, expenses for the sash. The cost of production of sash was 100 cedis. And on 15th of March, we changed 800 cedis at a rate of 0.64, which is 512 RMB. And on the 25th of June, that's after the sashes were done and we're supposed to make the final payments, an amount of 700 cedis were changed at a rate of 0.64, which was 446 RMB. Now, the cost of shipping sashes from Ghana to China was 90 RMB. So the total expenses for the sashes is 1,048 RMB. So if you subtract this expense from the receipt, which is 1,360, we have a surplus or profit of 312 RMB. Now, the welfare account balance. The main source of Nugs-China welfare is 40% of membership dues. An amount of 47,409 RMB was handed over to the current NFC. So 40% of our, so this is the balance brought down, and then 40% of our dues, which I mentioned earlier as 5,272, has been added. So our total income for the welfare is 52,681 RMB. Now, expenses under welfare. Welfare package to support medical expenses of Al-Hassan Elvis from the Zhenjiang chapter is 2,000. Now, if you subtract the 2,000 from our income, we have a surplus of 50,681 RMB. Transfers. These costs were incurred from bank charges and transfers, dues collected and expenses incurred, Alipay and WeChat transfers. Yeah, so bank transfers handing over 70 RMB, bank charges 113.41, Alipay or WeChat charges 30 RMB, which is equal to 213.41 RMB. Quality for Nugs-China laptop and documents. This cost was incurred for shipping Nugs-China's laptop from the outgone Secretary General to the Secretary General, that is from Zhenjiang to Jingzhou. SF sent these items and the price was 107 RMB. Zoom subscription. Nugs-China has 2 Zoom accounts to hold its meetings. The accounts are renewed yearly. The two accounts were renewed at a unit cost of $149. The exchange rate as at 30th October 2022 was 1 USD is 7.2618 RMB. So for the two accounts, it costs 2,164 RMB. Zoom subscription, two accounts. All right, so this $298 exchange rate at 7.26 amounts to 2,164. Bank charges 23 RMB. Sorry. So we have a total of 2,187 for the Zoom subscriptions. Now, roundtable discussion and quiz competition. Cost of citation for moderators. We had 2 moderators. So citation for each moderator cost 75.01 RMB times 2. That's 150 RMB. Quite for Platts, 14 RMB. And that's a total of 164.02. Cost of purchasing cloud storage. This is the cost of buying cloud storage to store Zoom recordings and other important files of Nugs-China. An amount of 398 RMB was spent on the cost of cloud storage. Cost of shipping NFC files. This is the cost of shipping manual receipts and other files from the past National Financial Controller to the current National Financial Controller. The shipping cost 61 RMB. Cost of flash drive. The cost of a flash drive bought by the past NFC to keep all soft copy files of the NFC. The cost of the drive was 35 RMB. This report was prepared by Charles Asakia, the National Financial Controller, approved by the National President, Mr. Sylvain Osei Appiah, presented by yours truly. Thank you. So if there are any questions, concerns, the floor is open. Thank you. Okay, Manuel, please go ahead.
Honorable Ukom.
Yes, sir.
You look beautiful, and thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome, and thank you for the compliment.
Okay, all right. So as we speak, as a union, how much is our available balance? How much money do we have now?
In the main account, we have 122,138.43, and in the welfare account, we have just a minute. Welfare, we have 50,681 RMB.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I can see someone's hand is up. Ofori Hanjo, please kindly go ahead.
Okay, I don't know if you can answer for the FC anyway, but then in the report of our honorable president, His Excellency Steve, he mentioned the flagship program of the FC, that is the news. Is it a waiver, or how did they even term it? This is the waiver.
Debt relief policy.
The debt relief policy, but nothing is said about it in this report. What fraction of the total dues received came from that policy? I just want to know how effective that project was, and if it wasn't effective, is there any mechanism to address why that particular project didn't come through?
Please, Honorable President would answer that. Steve.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, sir, for your question. Yeah, actually not indisposed at the moment, but Yeah, concerning the debt relief policy, what has happened, we had quite a few number of our members take advantage of it. We realized that it's just an apathy that members had towards the union, but not necessarily because they were challenged with finances or they being unable to reconcile or settle their dues. So we had just a few number of members taking advantage of that policy. Rather unfortunately that in the report there wasn't a breakdown to highlight the few members that took advantage of the policy. So pardon us. Yeah, but then as I mentioned, it was just a few members that did so, because even up until now, we have quite a number of our members still having arrears of dues payment. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Ofori, please, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Vendish, please go ahead with your question.
Okay, Honorable Ukom, thank you. I would like to know why the union is paying for 2 Zoom accounts. Is one Zoom account not enough? Why are we paying for 2 Zoom accounts? And were we paying for the 2 Zoom accounts every month? Yeah, I want to know about that. The reason why we are paying for 2 Zoom accounts, and why were we paying for it every month? And if every month, why? Because I know that within the academic year, there were some months that we didn't even organize programs online. So why is such? Yes, that's what I want to know. Thank you.
All right, so I think the subscriptions were yearly subscriptions, not monthly. We weren't paying monthly, it was yearly subscription. And we have 2 Zoom accounts. Yes, we use both accounts. One is with the Secretary General and one with the Vice President. So the one with the Vice President is used for committee meetings and other meetings with like when we have other meetings, and then also when chapters need accounts, and then the one with the Secretary General is being used. So we use both accounts depending on what activity and which one is available. But if Steve has anything to say, Steve, you can add up to what I said.
All right, so thank you, Madam Misha. So just as Misha Wokom has mentioned, the 2 Zoom accounts were handed over, assets that were handed over to us from our predecessors. I think the Zoom accounts came into light due to the COVID period, the pandemic. And so that has facilitated our meetings over the past 3 years. So that's why we happen to have 2. So just to be able to manage the influx of demand. So, sometimes even with the 2, I mean, all the 2 Zoom accounts are occupied. And so, yeah, we had to just to help us to manage the schedule. Thank you very much. But hopefully, since now we'll be having more of in-person meetings, I'm sure we would reduce the virtual interactions and have more in-person engagements. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Vendish, please, has your question been answered, or do you have any follow-up question?
Yeah, and then what about the the Zoom accounts? Is it that when you subscribe, is the cloud storage not inclusive? So because I also saw Zoom account and cloud storage for Zoom recordings. Yeah. So I would like to know that was it not inclusive of like when you buy the total, is it not the total package, or the cloud storage was also different?
Okay. All right, thank you for the question again. So yeah, there is Zoom Cloud. The Zoom Cloud, has a limit to the capacity that you can keep in there. So the cloud storage, actually, the imports for the cloud storage was to help sort of a virtual database for the union pertaining to vital documents, especially with administrative procedures, transition, some details of documents that have been long kept as hard copies and on flash drives. If you could take notice from the report, realize that there was a whole lot of exchange of pen drives and all these details flying over here and there. So the hope is that we could keep this document in a virtual or soft copy form that will live beyond this and not suffer damage or any extra cost or loss to the union. So for the main objective, that's why we got the cloud storage. But then the Zoom Cloud itself has storage to it. But as I said, it has a limit. So there have been many times that we had to download these recorded videos and then store them on other platforms. Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. But going forward, I think we can save a lot of money with this, especially with the cloud storage. We have the websites, and I believe that we can save some of these things in emails and other stuff so that when new executive come, they just need the email accounts. And then with the 2 Zoom accounts, I think we can just go with one. And even the one self, we can choose to even do it like when we need it, then we pay for it, because if you pay it per year, there are times that we don't really use it. Yes. So I think on Taobao too, you can also buy it, and it's very cheap. When you just need it for maybe a day, 1 week, or 1 month, you can buy it. So going forward, we can reduce cost on these things. And now, as you stated, we have we are now moving from the virtual stage. So I think we can save a lot of money from this with the cloud storage and the Zoom accounts. Thank you so much for your answering of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Your points are well noted. Thank you very much, Mr. Vendish.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vendish. Your suggestions are well noted. All right. Please, any more questions? All right, Mr. Kofi from Shanghai, kindly go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I also want to add my voice to what is being discussed. I think the cloud storage should be kept. It's very important because keeping things on computers have their own risk. And even for emails, you cannot store something that is more than 25 megabytes or so. And so let's keep that one. Then for the Zoom, because we'll be having more of face-to-face activities, and for the Zoom, we can reduce to 1. But for the cloud, let's keep paying and keep it. It will help us a lot. So it's just my suggestion. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, Mr. Kofi.
Thank you. Ofori Hanjo, kindly go ahead to your question. Mr. Ofori from Hanjo.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm just concerned about the future of the union's finances. You see, every year, okay, I've been in, this is my second time in this Congress thing, and you realize that the very concerns that are raised in relation to why people are not paying dues, I know some of them are not tangible, but then there are tangible reasons why people are not paying. Yeah, if you look at the balance that was brought forward, that was carried down in 2021. That's over, not in this statement. That was over 100,000 RMB. Last year, look at the present statement you reported, the balance brought forward. It came to 66,000. So from 100,000 to 66,000, and I'll go down to what you're also carrying forward.
This is our carry forward.
Let's carry forward.
Yes.
But in between the lines, no, you still go down, go down, go down. Okay, so in between the lines, you realize that, in Astra, there are sort of fluctuations in there. I just want us to put into perspective why people are not paying the dues. It's so normal for us to be saying always that, oh, the reasons are not tangible. Maybe we should get to the roots of why people are not paying the dues. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chu. Just to add to what Mr. Fori just mentioned, I think it's not just an issue of dues. I think it's even an issue of leadership, participation, and all of that. So, in my opinion, honest opinion, I feel it's a general apathy towards the union. It's not really about dues, because we don't have people to take up leadership roles or take up responsibility or hold the fort for the union in any way or regardless. I mean, if we had people who were willing enough to do so, and I'm sure once such a person is there, I mean, such a person always make efforts to contribute his quota to the development of the union, understanding that permit me to borrow the local dialect. Okay, just to add, I mean, just to comment on Mr. Fori's submission. Thank you so much. Madam Isha, I can continue.
Thank you. Mr. Fori, is your hand still up? Do you still have a question or a suggestion? Oh, all right. Mr. Kofi, is it the previous hand or it's another one?
No, it's a new hand.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was told that one of the things that made people pay their dues those days was the passport renewal and other things, which Nugs was handling. So people were obliged to pay their dues. But now those things are no more there. And another thing for the reduction in the dues also is that our numbers have reduced. If you check, our numbers are, even in my chapter, I saw that as of 2019 or so, they were about 142. Now we are 31. So our numbers has reduced, which has brought down the dues. And also the ways by which Nugs was able to tie people to pay their dues, those things are also gone. So it beholds on all of us to see which other way which other thing we can do to make people pay. Some people say that perhaps we should reduce the amount, and then people will be encouraged to pay. But even that, are we sure that reducing will make people pay? We are not sure. And so let us all think about it and see how we can encourage everybody to pay the dues. It's not as if people don't have the money. People have it, but giving it to Nugs is that their problem. And I've always tell people that this year, for instance, Nugs had a lot of programs. We learned Python. If you want to learn Python on your own, how much will you pay? You learn Python and so many programs, like GIS and a whole lot. If you want to pay for over $1,000, Nugs is giving it to you for free. Just look at that alone and pay dues. You say no. So what do you want Nugs to do for you again? You say that, oh, Nugs is not doing enough. What do you want? So let's keep encouraging ourselves. Hopefully, we can improve in the future.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kofi.
Please, are there any more questions? Okay, Mr. Manuel. Please go ahead.
Sorry, I have to come back. Quick one. With regards to I know this is not the time, but probably because of what happened in the past, now we are embarking on shipping activities as a union, and sometimes the union we have to pre-finance a certain percentage to the shipping agency before If things are done, we will do the collection, that is calculation of CBM, and then we will pay the rest to the shipping company, and then we return the loan or the initial payment we pay, we return it back to the union. I did not see anything of that sort here. Is it that this time everything is being handed by the shipping committee, or this time per the negotiations, there were nothing like a pre-finance as a union? Maybe the question is not for you. Maybe if Mr. President can briefly give us an explanation or something.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Manuel, for your question. Yeah, so in my report, I stated that this year's shipping is not like the usual one we know, where we have to run the entire duty-free process. We have to seek for funds to pre-finance the whole process and all of that. Fortunately for us this year, it's a subsidized cost. So the union is not involved in any dynamics or refinancing or anything. So we bargain for a subsidized cost for our members. Yes, so the union is free from pre-financing issues and all of that. Thank you, sir. Mr. Mano, I don't know if
I'm here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you too.
You don't have any follow-up question?
No, ma, I don't.
Great. I can't see any hand up, so I would like to conclude that nobody has any question. So please, in the absence of any more questions or suggestions or anything, can we move for the acceptance of this financial report? Please, the Movers and Seconders Association. Please, let's do that quickly. All right, Mr. Manuel.
The movers and the okay. I, Manuel of Anhui chapter, do move the motion that if in the absence of any other thing, we do accept the National Financial Report as a working document. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vendish, I can see your hand is up.
Well, before I second, I would like to ask that, has this report been audited?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Audit committee will give their reports soon after.
Hey, so what if the audit committee's report is different from what, when we are moving to accept it, and it comes out that the audit committee does not agree with this, then we have already moved. So I suggest that we hold on with the movement so we see the audit committee's report. That's my suggestion. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
So, Madam, I think audit committee can come in, and then.
All right. Thank you so much, honorable congressmen and women, for your time. And I would like to hand over to the moderator. So, Madam Moderator, kindly.
Thank you so much, Honorable Yisha. I will comment. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to call on the National Audit Committee, that is to give us the National Audit Report. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry for my background. I'm Nagriwum Timothy Masune, the secretary to the audit committee. And within the audit committee, we are 3 members as stipulated by the constitution of the union. We have Madam Afenya Millicent Selassie. She's the chairperson. Timothy Nagriwum Masuni is the secretary to the committee. Then we have Jonathan Tay, a member of the committee. Yeah, honorable members, I hope you can hear me. Please, I hope you can hear me. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. The audit report is here, and it is addressed to the 35th Delegates Congress. Audit report for 2022-2023 academic year. We, the audit committee, have completed an audit of the that's Nugs-China 2022-2023 financial statement. And the financial report is attached for your kind reference. The audit was conducted in accordance with the applicable audit standards and the provisions of Institute of Internal Auditors and External Audit. Included in our report are recommendations for the next Delegates Congress and for further financial controllers of all the various chapters of Nugs-China. Yours sincerely, the chairperson, then the secretary, and that of the member. So we copied the National Committee, Executive Committee, the National Finance Controller, then all chapter financial controllers. This the independent audit report for 2022-2023 academic year. We have audited the accompanying financial statement of the National Union of Ghana Students, Nugs-China, for the 2022-2023 academic year. The statement comprised of statement of receipts and payment account related notes to the financial statement. Management, that's NEC responsibility for the financial statement. Management, NEC, is responsible for the preparation and a fair presentation of this financial statement in accordance with the financial reporting standards and provisions of the union. Also, management is responsible for the design, implementation, and proper maintenance of internal controls which are relevant to the preparation and fair presentation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. Audit committee responsibility. Our responsibility as auditors is to express an opinion on this financial statement based on our audit. We conducted our audit in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted and the audit requirements as prescribed by the union. Those standards require that we plan and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance on whether the financial statements are free from material misstatement. Moreover, we are also required to make recommendations on any other matter. An audit includes performing procedures to obtain audit evidence about the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. The procedure selected depends on the judgment of the committee members, including assessing the risk of material misstatement of the financial statement due to fraud or error. In performing this risk assessment, the audit committee considers internal controls related to the preparation and fair presentation of the union's financial statement in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances.
Honorable audit, sorry to interrupt. Can you share what you're reading? Because we are just looking at your fine face. We want to see, we want to read.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we sent a copy to, I thought they've even kept it on the
Yeah, it's not there. We are only seeing your beard gang and yeah.
No,
So
no, I mean we shared a copy to
like maybe if they can
second.
project it on the screen so
Yes.
that
So
we can see.
I even thought by now that has been okay.
I think we are co-hosts, so you can share your screen. If not, you can
Okay.
send it to me.
Okay. Then sorry for my BS. But I hope you can now see it. Hello.
Yes, it's sharing now. Yeah, we can see it now.
All right. That's fine. Okay. An audit includes performing procedures to obtain audit evidence about the amounts and the disclosures in the financial statements. The procedure selected depends on the judgment of the audit members, including assessing the risk of material misstatement of the financial statement due to fraud or error. In performing this risk assessment, the audit committee considers internal controls selected to the preparation and the fair presentation of the union's financial statement in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances. It is not intended to inform an opinion on the effectiveness of the financial statement of the audit procedure for waiving internal controls. Accordingly, we do not express such an opinion. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained through inquiries, source documents, and recalculations is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our audit opinion. Emphasis of matter. We conducted the audit without physical inspection of the bank statement, which is currently a personal account for the financial controller, to validate receipts and payment. That notwithstanding, the financial controller gave a screenshot of the actual balance for the CIBC account and the BOC account. Basis of opinion. The audit committee conducted the audit in accordance with the generally accepted auditing standards and international standards of supreme audit institutions, ISS, AIS. An audit includes examination on a test basis of evidence relevant to the accounts, disclosures, and regularity of financial transactions included in the financial statements. We plan and perform our audit work so as to obtain all the information and explanations which we consider necessary to provide us with sufficient evidence to give reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatements, whether caused by error, fraud, or any other irregularity, and that in all material respects, the income and expenditure have been applied in accordance with the necessary provisions. In forming our opinion, we also evaluated the overall adequacy of the presentation of information in the financial statements. Audit opinion. In our opinion, the financial statements presents fairly in all material respects and give a true and fair view of the financial position of the Nugs-China during the year ended July 2023 and the results of its operations for the year ended, and that the transactions were in accordance with the financial regulations and guidelines. This was signed by the chairperson and that of the secretary myself. Recommendations. More efforts should be put in place in getting sponsorship to support the union's programs. The appointment of audit committee members should be done on time in line with the constitutional provision of a month. This will help the committee to do more in-depth investigations. All chapters should make all necessary payments to the financial controller on time to enable the financial controller to key it into the system before preparation of the financial statement. For the sake of audit purposes, the audit committee should be given access to the payment portal of the union in order to validate payments between chapter financial controllers and the national financial controller. For effective and efficient management of the union and its resources, we recommend the union to register the union officially in order to aid in opening a bank account in China. For proper management of assets of the union, an asset register must always be kept by the appropriate officers of the union and should be attached to the financial statement for our verifications. We also recommend that an audit implementation committee is formed as an ad hoc committee to ensure that the audit recommendations are implemented. Thank you very much, honorable members. So, honorable members, I'm done with the reports. So I therefore give the floor to any member who wish to.
Hey, you won't know. Oh, you think it's your room? Hey.
Wait a minute, yes, reach my room.
Mr. Moderator, can we speak?
I think we have some hands up.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Kofi, please, I think you can go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. The audit committee talk about something that always comes up every year regarding how our accounts is kept in individual accounts. I wanted to ask the person who did the presentation, I mean, based on his opinion, what does he think about, or let me say, it's a suggestion that just came up to mind that since it's very difficult for Nugs to register, you know, in China here, I mean, to get a bank account by itself. So it just came to mind, how about we liaise with the embassy to help us to create a bank account, which means that there'll be Ghana Embassy Nugs in the name. Maybe something Ghana Embassy, the Nugs will come in. That doesn't mean they'll be having access to our account, but just for us to be able to open a bank account. Is that something that is possible?
Oh, okay. I think that is possible. But what we have to do is that per the knowledge I have, or the audit committee had back home, is that before you register, before you open a bank account as a union or as an association, you have to register it officially with the Registrar General's Department or Office of the Registrar of Companies before you can send that particular document to the bank for the opening of accounts. So that's why we recommended that the union should try in its way to register the union here. I know Nugs-China, they have done that registration. So we can also register here. Then we see how best we can stand on that to have a bank account open. If we also deem it with that, relying on the the embassy to help us open a bank account is fit. There's no problem with that.
All right. Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Alimo. If there are no follow-ups to it, Mr. Fori.
Yeah, this is a quick one. I know the auditor will say it's not material, but then I think it's worth correcting. The total receipts, the computation there, there's some funny does there, it doesn't add up. Though it's not material, auditor, I understand, but I think the correction
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes.
You've seen that,
Please.
right?
Yes,
all right,
please.
all right.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fori. Okay. So, okay. All right, so then I hand over to you, Mr. Auditor. Yeah.
Okay. The door is still open if anybody has any further questions.
I think maybe at this point, I think members are settled.
Okay. Then I think before our report will be accepted, they have to accept the financial statement before they can now. I can't recall the name of the honorable member who said who brought a quick reminder that audit report they can accept the financial statement. In fact, you've done well. That's very good.
Right.
That was a great suggestion.
Okay, so I think we can move to accept both of them at a go. So
yes.
So,
Kindly hold on.
okay.
I think Mr. Fori mentioned that a correction needs to be made in the document. Yes. So if that correction can be made in the document and then resubmitted, I think we can proceed. I don't think it's a lot to do in the short while.
Yes. So
okay.
Such a correction is supposed to be done by the financial controller. Then we will verify whether that is done. Then you can push it back to the honorable members. Yeah,
in the audit report.
No, in the financial statement, the dot he raised, the dot issue he raised.
Oh, okay. But it's not, as you said, it's not material. So
material, yes.
Okay.
But the correction will definitely be done.
Okay. Then is ignorable, I believe. Yeah. Okay.
Sure,
all right. So please, we can go ahead then. So, Mr. Audit Chair, you can go ahead and.
Okay. Then, honorable members, without any further deliberations on the audit report, I therefore wish the House move a motion for the acceptance of the audit report and that of the financial statement.
I, Philip Kofi Alimo, the Shai chapter, move for the acceptance of the audit report and the financial statement.
I, in Kweku Vendesh, second to that motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Auditor.
Thank you to honorable member.
Thank you. All right.
Most good.
Over to you, Madam Love.
Thank you very much, Honorable Timothy and Honorable President. We'll be taking a 5-minute break, and can we have DJ Juice play an interlude for us? Thank you very much.
The facilitator deserves humble. The voice, the sweet one. We take a 5-minute break.
It's very necessary. It's very, very necessary.
Oh yeah. The facilitator's voice, the oh wow. Oh wow. Mr. President, we take a 5-minute break. Oh wow.
American, so nyende wa wontugu, so yede wa wonsumu, wosomu, da. Yambo ne yambo ne burukutu, nawe, burukutu, nawe, Sazo. Zinti na yero ya za yantume You're listening to DJ Atoki. Last week, me engagement, my name is wife. Now you war engagement. But how my you go maybe they will run up is now small so engage. Ancient police, why engage? What else you go? Can't go Satadia. What's Satadia? Evono. Atadia Nasado. What's Satadia? Kawahanua. I saw Resi. Sinia Warans were knees. Make a bet Yanano and I'm a quiet gas croya telling. Yeah, Mr. Yeah, Mr. Tatamia, Mr. Maybe a bad day party, and I'm a buyer. Nemono, the Amano, and I'm can come back on one shot. Seminanoa, made another family across who were ready for the Humber Papa, school neighbor, Level, company of workers, yeah, you to be food to be. Water, Canatoso, Mawadi, you too, sister again, Canatoso. Would you Muda? Didn't take out Natus, water time, Canatus, Mawadi, you too, sister again, Canatus, Muda, would you Muda? Didn't take out Natus.
Thank you very much, DJ Juice. Thank you very much, DJ Juice. We are back from our commercial break. Thank you very much. I'd like to call on the Honorable Vetting Committee to to give us the declaration of the vetting result. Honorable Vetting Committee, please, are we here?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Moderator, this is Irene from the Vetting Committee.
Good evening.
Okay, so please, can I be made a co-host for the exercise? Okay, just for you to know, I've joined with 2 accounts. You just have to make the other one, which has no audio, the co-host, so I can share with that one. Thank you.
Hello, Miss
Honorable,
Irene, please, stop sharing.
just a moment. Honorable Francisca, please, can you see my screen?
Yes, please. I can see your
Yes,
screen.
please. We can see your screen.
Wonderful. Okay, so once again, good evening to all congressmen and women.
Good evening.
And I'm a member from the vetting committee, and I'm Irene Abinum, and I'm very pleased to do this exercise for status declaration of the vetting results on this day. So these are the members of the vetting committee, which has been approved at the 35th Annual National E-Delegate Congress, July 2023. So we have Miss Francisca Bor as the chairperson, Mr. Lukman Jidwa as the secretary, and myself, Irene Kokot Nyengo Agbenum, as a member. We have Mr. Isaac Safo as a member, and also Miss Cindy Safo as a member. Okay, and for this particular year's vetting proceedings, we've used 5 rubrics, which include personal. Okay, we use actually six rubrics. So we have the personal vision and balance, character and attitude, administration and protocol, leadership and service, constitution and responsibilities, background check, and claims. And for the weighting criteria, we actually had the rating from a scale of 1 to 20, with 1 being the lowest score and 20 the highest rating score. Then from a total score of a 5-member committee, the total score for each aspirant is 500. The average score of 300, and which has been converted to percentage. Now, these are the results for the from the committee. For the position, the national president's position, we have Mr. Stephen Sofo Edu-Yeboah from Anhui chapter, and he had a score of 77%, and the status is passed. For the national vice president position, we have Miss Patience Akosia Jigbodi Kosoku from Nanchan chapter, and she had a score of 68.6%, and the status is passed. We also have Secretary General position, and that's Miss Laurentia Ejen Davis stood for that position from Shanghai chapter, and she had 76% score, and she passed. Then we have the financial controller position for Pius Opoku, Mr. Pius Opoku from Nanchan chapter, and he had 57.2 score out of the total mark, and which is failed. Okay. So we would like to first of all, we would like to say a big thank you to all the aspirants, their patience all through the process. And it has been a wonderful session with them. They all did their best, and we also say congratulations to them. However, if there are any questions or legal issues, we would like members to forward it to the Judicial Committee as per Article 24, Clause 10. Thus, a candidate affected by vetting committee's decision shall have 24 hours within which to appeal to the Judicial Committee. And once again, thank you, aspirants, for your bold decision, and we wish you the best. So, congressmen and women, we present to you the final verdict from the National Vetting Committee. Thank you. Madam Facilitator, please, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Honorable Irene Coco. Okay. Please, can we have a Senate report by the Honorable Senate Vice Chair? Honorable Vice Chair, please, can we have your Senate reports? Okay, information originally says they are preparing. So could we take a short break?
DJ Boy,
please could you?
DJ Boy, no. DJ Boy, no. DJ, I don't know now. Why? I don't know now.
7 days.
Before the DJ comes in, can I ask a question? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I from the report that was given, since one of the candidates failed the vetting. So in that case, what happens? I didn't hear anything about that.
They stated that if the candidate is having issues, he or she can petition to the NJC, and then we will look into that. Yeah. So if you have any grievances concerning the vetting results, you just write a petition to the NJC. Yeah. So that okay. Is that. Yeah.
Okay, DJ Jules, please could you play a music interlude?
Check it out. I'm going to come. City remember before. I'm going to come. Lobby remember before. I'm going to come. My power said, me and my ba. City remember before. Somebody from the Shona, somebody from Fratinga. No cripple for the Messi, no Messi for the cripple. No Messi for the Atlanta. How much more the cripple? Before we manage by force, it's simple. Be there, take you play, just sample. Before backsliding, and then for example, once upon a time, you can't let your man chakona. I told him, man, you see, I'm close to Shona. If you want playing, no corner. My name is Mana. My name is Secretary. In Wena, Thomas Sickling. Talking to the girl in Mamiba, in Bafili, in Billa Bluff, says, ne believe me, man, I've been schooling day. In Willa Easy, Abapana 1 elementary. From my side, I told me, 11 Charlie Koto. 1, 2. Bakri my shoe, none in legit small boy is canoe. Humpty the key until I'm sat on the wall. I go bluff away as an original play all. I'm tomato, onion, sabolai, I'm allied, Davida. I can never lie. I swear, man at the University of Legon. And I can bluff on my machine gun. Oh, I'm Lama to your man, listen to the song. Come back, in here, I'm going to come. I'm going to City River Boulevard. I'm going to come. Police said to me, "Open me glass up, put them say come in." Rape between us, say, "Oh baby, dress here." No senika, me buwa muka, and never start the wa. Yes, I'm a puka. We be anya neda, if I show kuka. What the patwa, kona kotina, Jamaica. Where you keep fresh, when you bazooka. Bema be good, bema you must crowd. I say me never kakwa, mano popo. If you mess up a lot, over to not anybody be acting a second room. I turn them on. Why ana pepra nana Australia motion and nimpa asemuna the friend is semuna akwala ya small girl no for call get be identification body cry o get be etikatu we take a several cycle na 5,000 kita we benya bi me dem ba ba ma wo hwe ni tuma da mebo wasu odi ne background sa mechi watu we bra akwala no won otimi nante usi me monka kanye yeti so wa akwala ka jama me I don't find that on
Cowabunga.
What man here you? On the 70. Bruno, Anani, oh, Radical Coco, yeah, one so.
Thank you so much, DJ Jules. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you very much. We'll have our Honorable Senate Vice Chair give us the Senate report. Honorable Senate Vice Chair, please are you in? Please just kindly hold on a bit. Probably our Honorable Senate Vice Chair is having some network issues.
All right. Hello. Good evening, congressmen and women. Please, can I be heard?
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much. I would just want to put something across the house after deliberations with some members. And so, per the vetting results that is out at the moment, now the national position is down to, aspirants for the national position is down to 3. And for that matter, I want us to have a deliberation. In my opinion, I don't think 3, moving on with 3 is efficient enough for the start of work. And so, if possible, we could open up nominations. Nominations can go on until tomorrow morning for any person interested in any of the slots that are vacant so far. Hopefully to get an addition to the 3, making 4, and then work can commence towards getting the other units together. So I want us to have discussions as congressmen and women. What is our take on the matter? I know for the earlier two slots, it was mentioned that we follow precedents to settle, to get members or aspirants or to fill up the position. So congressmen and women, can we have a discussion, or can we build consensus on what to do? But as chairman, this is the appeal I'm putting before congressmen and women, that we open nominations through till tomorrow morning. We open nominations through till tomorrow morning to give room for any individuals interested for any of the available 3 positions. So I would invite comments, suggestions, and all right, Mr. Kofi.
Thank you, President. I agree with what you are saying, that we should open it till morning, at least since the aspirant who failed still has a chance to make a petition. So other people who are also interested can also apply.
Okay.
Same for the WOCOM and the organizer. So I perfectly agree.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Kofi. Any other? Okay, Mr. Vandish.
Mr. President, I want to be clear. Is it that we are opening for even those that have passed the vetting, or we are opening just for the FC? And those that...
Okay, we are opening. Okay.
So I want to know which ones are we opening for?
Okay, so we are opening for the National FC, National Organizer, and National WOCOM.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
right.
please.
I think that is a good idea. We should open and see if people are going to apply.
Okay.
So we also have to have a plan that what if nobody still applies? Are we still going to go ahead or not? We should. But okay, maybe after this, then we can also discuss that too. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Vendish. Okay, so congressmen and women, I wish I could get a for the submissions that have come in so far, but then we can have somebody to ask. Okay. It looks like the yes have it. Okay, I can see.
Mamandi.
Okay. And yes have it. Okay, Nanake, I see your hand. Can we hear from you, please, shortly?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know is the moment the FC petition, it means the CJ has to put an injunction on the FC's petition before you can, or there should be the result before they can open nomination, because now we can't open nomination whereby the FC has not petitioned the CJ. So he needs to petition. If there should be no petition, maybe after 24 hours, that's where you can open nomination. Thank you.
Okay.
Please, NJC. My NJC is here. Can I answer him?
Okay, yeah. Please.
Okay, so the constitution said that if the person is not, the aspirant is not satisfied with the result, if he is not satisfied, then he can petition. Okay, and as it stands now, the NJC haven't received any petition from any aspirant yet. So since there is no petition yet, we can still go ahead. That means that the person is already satisfied, and also per the constitution, that person can reapply. Yeah, he can reapply too if he's still interested. Yeah, thank you. So now there is no petition there, and also the person can also reapply. So unless there is a petition, then we can put it on hold till we are done with all the petition matters, and then whether like what the evidence we found supports the vetting committee or rejects the
Hello, ma.
Hey.
I'm crashing. Okay, so thank you. Hello, ma.
All right, thank you, Mr. Vendish, NJC. Okay, Nanake, is it an old hand or a new one? Okay. All right, Mr. Kofi, I think I saw a flash of your hand. I don't know if you are.
My hand is down.
Okay, thank you. Nanake. All right, so I think I take it as an old hand. Okay, so congressmen and women, I think we've now settled that we open nominations all through till morning. Hopefully we can get members to take up the national organizer position, national women's commissioner position. And again, our aspirant who has been disqualified through the vetting process again can reapply, and obviously any other person interested can also reapply. Okay, thank you so much, congressmen and women. Yeah. All right, so I think at this point we still have some few minutes before Uncle Lebo White comes in. So we'll quickly take the Senate report. Hopefully we can be done in the next 15 minutes. Yes, so Senate Vice Chair, please, if you are here, you can continue with us.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Please, a second. Okay. I'm sorry, give me a second. I have had a long day. I'm just getting back, so let me quickly. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Please, can I be seen?
You can. We can see you.
All right, wonderful. All right, good evening, everyone. Sorry for the delay. All right, so I'm here to present the summary of Senate's activities for the 2022-2023 academic year. So I'm here to present on behalf of the Senate Chair, Mr. Chafondeme, who is not around. So I'm in the person of Dr. Nana Joy Kumar Johnson, and I'm here to outline the activities of the National Senate for this past or this about to end academic year. So I'll quickly start. So this report captures the activities of the summary of Senate's activities for the 2022-2023 academic year. There's a typo there. I would address it as soon as possible. This report captures the activities of the National Union of Ghana Students China 2020-2023 Senate's activities, progress, challenges, and recommendations for the continuity of the union presented to Congress on the 14th of July, 2023.
Honorable Senate Chair, please could you share your screen? Could you kindly share your screen?
I can't do that at the moment, but I have posted it in the Congress group. So maybe LOC could help us with that.
Please, you can continue. We'll project it for you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. So before we start, it's very necessary to understand what Senate is about, the functions of Senate as outlined by our Constitution. So I'll quickly go through the functions of Senate. So the Senate comprises of all National Executive Council members and provincial coordinators. It oversees policy decisions and ensures their effective implementation across all member chapters. Provincial representation is guaranteed by the election of provincial coordinators. So all the chapter executives in various provinces come together to elect. By the Constitution, it's supposed to be a past executive, or if there is a case where there is no past executive willing to take up the position, then one of the chapter presidents in the province would have to be elected to take up that position, and therefore serves as a provincial coordinator. So provincial representation is guaranteed by the election of provincial coordinators. The Senate convenes at least 3 times a year, one of which is within 21 days before Congress. So quickly, we'll go through the Senate membership. So our Senate actively performed their responsibilities this year. Our provincial coordinators included Mr. Collins Chafondeme Dakura, who happened to be the chair for this year's Senate. We had, okay, so they are all honorables. I'll just go on and mention the names. We had Nana Joan Kumar Johnson, that is me as the vice chair. We had Miss Erica Odra Opoku, also as the secretaries. We had Clement Osei, Apia, Alexander Kani, Philip Eje Wiafi, Seto Kwame Fujo, Barnabas Der Kudari, Nashiru Mumuni, Daniel Bilinto, sorry if I didn't get your name right, and Sandra Santua Mensa as provincial coordinators, as mentioned earlier. And then we had, for our National Executive Council members, we had Stephen Osei Apia, Terence Thomas Tete, Rachel Isiakon, Charles Asakia, Judith Aikai Brown, and Aishetu Abubakar. So to the Senate's activities, over the year, we had key events such as the swearing in of the NJC member, since our chair was actually part of NJC last year, like after Congress. Sorry, during Congress, he was added to the Senate NJC, but then being a member of Senate and NJC being autonomous, he couldn't be in both, so he had to step down and we had to get a new member to take over his position, the vacant position. Therefore, Senate had to meet to handle that and swear in the new NJC member. Also, we handled the nomination and inauguration of the new national organizer, that's Ms. Brown. And then we also had multiple meetings focusing on the National Action Plan, the budget presentation, discussions on shipping, and others. Our last meeting was on the 30th of June 2023, which involved the deliberation and subsequent approval of Congress and standing committees, which also led to the dissolving of Senate. So our challenges so far, just like every union, every chapter, even with the national, the journey has not been without challenges. And the major challenge was regular attendance of meetings by mainly the provincial coordinators. At this point, I just want to reiterate that Senate is not for provincial coordinators, neither is Senate for NEC. Senate is made up of both provincial coordinators and NEC in order to have a full representation of the union. That is Nugs-China, not Nugs-NEC or Nugs-Jiangsu or Nugs-Beijing. So we had this issue where there were very few provincial coordinators attending the meetings instead of having a full house. And some of the times this led to us having to call off meetings because we weren't forming a quorum, sorry. So that was like a major challenge that we had to go through. Some of the times you have to wait for 2 hours to form a quorum before you can actually start a meeting. So that was our major challenge we faced. And also, as I mentioned earlier, we had to dissolve the Senate. So as per our constitution, the Senate was officially dissolved after our final meeting, which was 30th of June 2023. However, if you're to check the date, it was 2 weeks prior to Congress. These are some of the extraordinary situations we find ourselves in, which are not constitutional, but then they do not break the constitution too. I don't know if you understand, but yeah, so as per our constitution, the Senate was officially dissolved after our final meeting on June 30th, 2023, and this marked the transition period, making way for the Congress, which we are in now. So with our recommendations, looking forward, we would like to propose the following recommendations. One, being the main challenge we faced, improved attendance and participation. I think this issue of apathy starts it's not just in the chapters, but once it starts in the chapters, it climbs up. And if we don't handle it in the smaller groups or at the beginning of at the beginning in the chapter levels, it goes on to affect our productivity throughout in everything that we do. So if you can see, it's affected our attendance to national programs, some chapter programs, and now even to make decisions for the union as a whole, it has affected it. So we would recommend that there is improved attendance and participation. Implement a more rigorous attendance policy, supplemented with reminders ahead of meetings, as much reminders as possible. And then providing an agenda before the meeting could also foster more informed discussions and encourage active participations. Also, we would like to admonish the provincial coordinators to get more engaged, create a task force or committee that is specifically aimed at engaging and integrating provincial coordinators into the broader Senate activities, as I just always having to sit in meetings and deliberate. Provincial coordinator activities spans outside Senate. We're actually supposed to regularly communicate with the various chapters in our provinces, ensuring their well-being, ensuring that we pass on information from Senate to them as soon as possible, which is one thing I can confidently say that we have neglected. Most of us provincial coordinators have neglected to do that, thinking that being a PC is all about Senate. So the regular check-ins, training sessions, and specific projects that require provincial input could be part of this initiative to get our provincial coordinators to be more engaged. And then also we would recommend that the communication strategies used should be enhanced. That is, adopt improved communication strategies, including a dedicated platform or tool for ongoing updates. And with this one, let us do our very best to share the updates on time, especially when it comes to Senate secretaries. Do your very best to share update informations, letters on time, giving the senators more time to actually read, make their own research before we meet as Senate for our meetings. And then a system for recording and sharing minutes promptly could also ensure the members who could not attend the meetings, that's meetings they miss, can catch up quickly and remain informed. Thus, we wouldn't have to go back to previous meetings, having to say this person said that, this person said that, and no, this was what the person meant. Like, we don't have to go back. We could just move forward because those who missed the meetings earlier are already informed of the previous minutes. And this should be done as early as possible, maybe a few days after the meeting instead of maybe a week or something to the next meeting. So in conclusion, as we review the past and look forward to the future, I want to express my gratitude for your unwavering dedication and support to the union as members of Nugs, as members of Senate. We, the leadership of Senate for the academic year 2022-2023, are really grateful for your support in however ways you express that. We are grateful, and we hope that in future, if we should meet elsewhere, we will do a better job. I'm not saying we didn't do a great job, but we can do better. I think everyone here would agree that throughout the chapters, the NEC, all of us can actually do better to improve and lift up the union that is Nugs-China. So thank you all so much. This minute was prepared by Ms. Erika Ojra Opoku, our secretary, and was approved by our chair, Mr. Chafondeme, and I, as I mentioned, presented on behalf of the chair because he's currently indisposed. So thank you very much for your audience. If there are any questions, I'm open for it. Any questions? Okay, let me see. Participants. Okay, if there are no questions, I think I would hand over to the moderator to move for the acceptance of the report or the summary of the activities, more or less.
Thank you very much, Honorable Madam Kumar.
You're
Please,
welcome.
without any questions, if there are no questions, could we have two people, one moving for the acceptance of the report and the other seconding?
I, Philip Kofi Alimo of the Shanghai chapter, move for the acceptance of the CNEX report.
Thank you very much. Could we please have someone seconding?
Mr. Frederick from Beijing.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm Frederick from Beijing. I second the acceptance of the Senate committee report.
Okay,
yes,
thank you very much.
Miss Abigail, I saw it and I said I was gonna correct it as soon as possible. It's supposed to be 2022. I mentioned it. All right. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of the program.
Thank you very much, Honorable
Thank
Mami.
you. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you. Can we call upon Honorable Constance Osebonsu, the Jinhua President, to introduce our special guests? Okay. Could we please have a music interlude by DJ Juice before he comes in?
Farsight Enterprise, Tokomimri, Bati, Bamra TV.
Alongside Batman, alongside Gongo. Are you ready? Now, Benny, watch you run me, what the? You grab a gun, not the yellow. Say, and I'm a man, no ben. And the animal but done so many that dear Jodo. I'm vampy, I don't come to say, yeah. Friends, yeah, Betty, I be a say, Betty, I be friends, and I'm coming to Betty, I be a oh, yeah, Betty, I want me a oh, yeah, and do running more, don't stop. Oh no, Bobby Suge, oh no, Bobby Suge, oh no, and Adam, oh no, Bobby Suge, oh no, Bobby Suge, oh no, watching Suge, this man again, give him a minute, this idea, oh, Jalan, KK, Suge. Where shall I wander? Upstairs and downstairs in my little chamber. Me and me cozy ganda. Where shall I wander? Upstairs and downstairs in my little chamber. Me love with the free back who are the lenti. I can't do. Me love with studio. No chira di dede. O shake it to a. Nani dede. Ene da. Ena mi baby. Ina studio. Eya so me never want to walk in. And so all in it.
Hello.
Ina free back who so who do I must be tata. Na uda so me dem. Yeah me dada.
Uncle was trying. Wait, no, true. I don't know.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Uncle Abu. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I greeted you with the Ghana time. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm sure
good evening. Good evening from China.
Yeah, good evening.
And welcome to China as well.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Madam Moderator.
Yes, please, Mr. President. Okay, welcome, Uncle Abu. Please will call on the Jinhua President, Honorable Constance Osei Bonsu, to introduce our special guest.
Madam Constance, we can't hear you.
Honorable Constance, please, you can't be heard.
Okay, okay. Please, can I be heard now?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, once again.
Good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, fellow delegates, it is with great pleasure and a singular honor to have the opportunity to introduce a distinguished guest. Born on July 20th, 1954, the perfect couple, the case of the happily married, the deal, the case of the professional ladies are books authored by him. He is a playwright, author, motivational speaker, and a leader. But he simply described himself as a storyteller. And yes, that is an indisputable fact. He has experience working in the top management of many different economic sectors and is a professional statistician, marketer, and accountant. He likes to say he sold books, medicine, money, and cars. He has been a voice of reason for the past 30 years on a motivational segment on Radio Dab, Food for Thought, on Joy FM. Having written and directed more than 52 plays since 1975, he is Ghana's most successful playwright, who has, through his work, revived theater in Ghana after its long dormancy.